Hello and welcome back to, I suppose, Season 2 of the Dragon-Blooded campaign after our first extended period of downtime, caused by Old Man getting a laser beam to the everywhere, and also everybody else having errands that were conveniently timed to, I guess while Old Man is repairing, we might as well get around to that. So, last time, the delivery of the Soul Steel artifacts and retrieval of them from Sun Guanyong and Sybil went off mostly without hitches at first. Retrieving it from the merchant and his bodyguard proved to be easier than expected, although there was a sighting of a suspicious, particularly underworldy elemental that set Absolute Repose on edge.
Sighting, yes, let's say that.
Yes. The problem came when they tried to go to the drop site for the Soul Steel as arranged by the courier who would return it to the temple, and found a very powerful, clearly one of the first abyssals to gain the Shard of Exaltation, the last breath as they call it, and basically made the offer of, you give me the Soul Steel and we walk away and we don't have any problems, and you're not my problem and I'm not your problem. If you don't give me them, I'm going to kill you and everyone you love. And Absolute Repose, having taken a sacred oath, being Earth aspect, and facing more or less the incarnation of his entire religion's fuck this thing, responded with taunts, violence, and an incredible amount of ingenuity to survive what came next.
Beams!
Beams happened. Very extremely beams happened. However, in the ensuing fallout of surviving the beams, they did have to leave the armor behind as mobile cover because it was one of the only things on hand they had that could block the beam and not immediately disintegrate. So, the party was able to return to Grey Falls with the Lance Switch Scythe Bloodborne thing, and Old Man alive, but down the armor and Old Man with the entire front half of his body opened.
I was burnt to dust. I was mostly dust at that point.
Yeah, like basically everything down to the skeleton was visible from the front half.
It was an improvement.
Yeah. By some standards, yes. But even with the intervention of Grey Falls' best surgeon, the Fallen River province, he didn't go all the way back to Grey Falls because Fallen River province was closer, which I will shift back to the map to illustrate that.
I was peeled open like a hassie.
What's a hassie?
Unsettling.
Okay, come on. Yang of all people knows what a hassie is.
Oh, I made that hassie.
Yang, what good sir, what is a hassie? Tell me more, Yang wearing very paper-thin disguise.
I, the potion seller, I've never heard of this magical drink.
What suave, handsome, and intelligent man could have devised such a convenience?
Such a warm and unnerving beverage.
I bet they're still living off the royalties to this day.
So, even with the best frontier surgeon Dragon Blood available in this rather large polity in the 100 Kingdoms, and basically 24/7 care from the mortal staff, whenever Old Man allows them to actually do their job, which is less and less frequent as he is able to retrieve his ability to move.
The moment he's able to stand up, he is already gone.
Yeah. It is still going to be 2 months before Old Man actually rebuilds all of his skin and muscle and is not in a horrible amount of pain for most of the day.
Well, yeah, but listen, dealing with being in a horrible amount of pain is not that much different from his normal day-to-day life.
It's a unique and uncomfortable new level of pain that you haven't experienced before.
Now hold on now. Old Man's quite old, you have no idea.
True. There is.
Listen, if you want to talk about Old Man experiencing his entire form being peeled away, he actually has experienced that before.
Wasn't thinking you were going to say that, but that is true.
I will give no context unless asked.
Are you gonna give context?
So, anyways,
what was left was the hearth had 2 months to help old man out of just pure old man is part of the hearth now after that. Help him recover and attend to their own needs that had been backing up as they had the craziest about 2.5 weeks of their entire lives. So now they had about 2 months to actually catch up on the rest of their to-do list.
sorry, I will always take the opportunity to never ask old man a question.
Old man, ask me anything! Well, on, no.
You're learning.
It's a trick. I don't want to know anything. That's right.
You've fallen for it. Congratulations.
I believe that last time Old Man mentioned that just the entire front half is very visible, like, burn scar tissue. For those asking.
Okay, real quick.
Mhm.
One of the few things I'm going to say I did between then and now, one of the training session things that happens in the off time, represented purely from Old Man having been severely burnt as bad as he was, his appearance went from 1 to 2. Now, normally you'd think, oh wait, how did he get more handsome? No, Old Man has actually always had the hideous quality, which is the thing that you can get, which means that the increasing ranks of appearance is appearing more and more intimidating or strange to look at.
He's more noticeable. He's more novel.
Yeah.
His appearance is more.
Yes.
He was low key unsettling, and now he is average key. Ugh.
Exactly. So his entire front half has been.
It fell off.
It has fallen off, yes, but like
The front
it
just
is-
fell off.
How did it take this long for us to make that joke?
Don't worry about it. He is significantly scarred up now, yes.
Well, he had trained to rigorous spiritual standards. At his level of the arts, the front should never fall off.
Well, what happened?
The front fell off.
So, if there is a volunteer who would like to go over, because this is, again, probably going to be mostly a pretty relaxed session of going over the downtime, because there's a lot to cover for most people. If there's anybody who would like to volunteer to go first.
How about just go down the line?
All right, yeah. If we don't have anybody chomping at the bit, Raloon, let's talk about what you've been doing for the past 2 months.
Alright, so Repose, having just done a lot of things in a pretty short amount of time, and allowed himself to get a lot louder and angrier than he has been in quite a lot of time, Repose needs to cool off and have a think, have a refocus, get himself stabilized and centered. So at like midnight of the first night after all of this seems to have finally settled, and there has been no new attacks, Repose is actually going to start to work on the thing that he has said that he would do for a while of replacing Grandma's damaged mug. In that, starting that night, and then each night for the next full month, he will be producing 1 full beverage cup. By the process, sculpt it in the dead of night, let it set until morning, and then in the morning, wrap it up delicately in like a nice thick layer of like mineral wool cloth, and then place it in his hand, fire up the shaping hands, and then just roast it in this handheld kiln that he then carries with him for the rest of the day while doing everything else. Each day, switching which hand he is using entirely to prepare custom pottery for Grandma, and which hand he is leaving open to doing everything else. He is not ambidextrous, so this causes him noticeable inconvenience every other day.
Half of the cups are trying their best.
Well, no, the cup just needs to be held there perfectly. It's the everything else that he is doing on that day that's
Yeah.
So by the end of it, he will have a set of 30 of these, 5 sets of 5, which are each in the like art that he is going to glaze onto them, depicting some event from the family history. And then the bonus set that is not part of your, 5x5, 5's an important number, just have cats on them.
Yes. Good.
Just cat mugs.
Perfect. You may mark down all of the silver experience that would have gotten you over the period of the doing the projects every day.
Silver much.
Yes.
Then eventually, once this entire set is ready, it will get like packaged up and buried some appropriate place that someone will then be able to collect it on the other side and deliver to
Funerary
Grandma.
offering. Mhm.
This is an assumed thing Repose is probably doing, if nothing else, if anyone needs to interact with him.
Was there any other things that he was training, people he was going to be going out and seeing,
Well,
things like that?
In proper martial arts form, alongside that, just spending a very long time in direct contact with earth that is being hardened by fire, he is going to be gaining a more intimate understanding of how earthen materials like temper and alter under stress. And in doing that, he figures out stone, fist, strike. He's buying some regular brawl charms.
All right.
After having done these for many days, he notices that his skin has hardened, but still stays flexible. And it's just kind of like, oh wait, yeah, dirt hand.
Oh yeah,
That
that's
makes
how this
sense.
works.
Yeah, earth is meat.
Dear Miyamoto.
All right, and in the instance, Bradway, would you be willing to take the stage with what you are planning on doing as your major thing?
Sure. So, 2 scenes. First scene. So, crack of dawn. This is any day over the next 2 months. Milan is seen leaving from wherever they're staying, carrying a candle and 2 books, going out to just outside of town, a clear area, maybe like if there's local woods and a clearing. And he sets these 2 books down, opening them up and using the light of the candle, peers into them. One book is very old, heavily annotated, detailing different martial arts styles of the Immaculate Order. The other, the book old man gave him.
Completely
Student-
unannotated. Not a single line of text was ever put on it.
Yep. Oh, and no one has ever read that book. It's all just looked at the pictures.
Yep.
Yes.
No one knows what the text says.
If only someone with Old Realm looked at the book.
No.
No. And as first light of dawn approaches, Milan takes a pose. And after a bit, he transitions to the next pose. And from someone watching, he's just sort of flitting about this clearing, doing pose after pose. And if you were to notice, you would realize he's almost doing these poses from the sorcery book as though it were martial art.
Hmm.
And then you realize he's practicing both his air dragon style and these poses at the same time. Not really like doing anything spectacular, just practicing.
That's boxing right there.
I suppose I can slide in there. Repose would have spent time monitoring, apologizing to, and also kind of harassing a little bit old man had he not vanished at the first opportunity.
Yes.
I would
There is
say
the disappointment and the grinding over. We're going to have words, but we'll get to that later.
there is also. I would say that Repose, if it came to it, is the one in the group that knows Old Man the most, having spent many years of his life looking for him on the mountain to make sure he was not a corpse. So,
We'll get to it later.
yeah.
Old man
Repose-
has chosen
yeah.
to walk away, and Repose will respect this. He's already
Okay,
asked
so-
for a lot of this hermit's time.
Mhm.
So, in beneath Milan's mind, he is just killing 2 birds with 1 stone. He's getting practice in both his martial arts skills because, hey, we've faced a lot of dangerous people. Like, really dangerous. I should probably defend myself better. I should
Yeah.
probably actually learn how to do these moves I stole from the temple.
Nah.
But also, I got instructions. Every morning, open palm slam that book. I got to do the moves.
Why not both?
Exactly.
this will be remembered.
All right, I have one more scene, but I will do it after other people, so I don't want to hog the spotlight.
To give context, Milan is going to have a method of contacting Grandma, and there will be a dialogue for a little while between them. So, Crumb, are you ready, or did you still need a little extra time?
I'm good to go.
Okay.
How was this ordered? Oh, that order. There we go. Okay. I only had a few things I wanted to go over here real quick. First things first. Spanner would be spending a lot of time away from everyone else, just probably either on a cliffside or out in the open, just watching nature and the opportunity that he didn't have when he was, in the city the whole time, and realizing there's air up there, and I'm always on the ground. Maybe I can learn to do something a bit different. And rather than finding a teacher, he's just going to watch a lot of birds, specifically falcons, and their movement patterns, and he's just going to start running up trees and then coming down hard on the ground afterwards, and then running up a tree and doing it over and over again until he finally gets a couple ideas down in his head, and doesn't invent, but kind of finds the basic ideas of basic falcon style.
Dive, kick.
Pretty much.
First you dive, and then you kick.
Yeah, there is.
If I ever found a falcon-style person, I would ask them, why do you use your head so much? That seems incredibly stupid, because the falcon style actually uses headbutts a lot, which makes no sense to me.
Why not?
It's Libre, that's why.
But hey, the falcon style seems to work well with the style he's already got, so he's going to work on that. He is also going to be making a trip over to talk to Koi, but he realizes on the way that this inverted waterfall would be a great opportunity to just take some opportunity to just be in water for a while. And he gets in the waterfall for a little bit, and then a day passes, and then another day passes, and then he realizes he's just been sitting inside that stream for a couple days, absorbing the impact, and comes out a little bit more durable.
Mm-hmm.
And then finally realizes, I came over here 4 days ago to go talk to this woman, I should probably do that.
And just as a comment on watching the natural bird life, you have plenty of it around here, actually, in this section. This is a very fertile river valley. There's an incredibly large cliff face for a lot of high-perching birds, enough trees for a lot of birds, carrion birds, all sorts of birds around for you to, watch and emulate, so.
There's a lot of shit around here, too. Like, a lot. So many birds. Anyway, yes, on my way over, probably going by myself all the way over to the Flying River province to go talk to What's-Her-Face.
Mm-hmm.
It's fine. I can follow the water the most of the way.
Yeah. So, that, I will actually make Koi a full conversation scene to introduce her as an NPC. So we can either do that now, or we can go down the list for the quick versions and then go through the full conversations.
I think we should go through the quick versions first, so that is all I really needed to do.
All right. Doc.
So the primary thing that happens is that Old Man does spend, actually about a week in bed at least. A week at least, probably a little bit more, of not being able to really do much. And unfortunately, for the first time in a very long time, he has to rely on others to, kind of keep him alive in some ways.
Mm-hmm.
And Repose will be there to ensure that they respect intervening, but only the minimum degree.
Yes. With that said, though, he still needs to he needs to talk to people much more than he had been until just recently, which is how I'm explaining the fact that he has actually increased his socialize all the way up to 3.
Nice, yeah.
Which is mainly just him remembering things from long ago, basically.
Yeah, you have been you were stuck in a hospital bed with nothing to do but talk to everybody around you. Yeah, that works.
In the vast majority of the things that he is saying to people are the slightest underhanded insults the moment that he sees any weakness in anyone around him.
Yeah,
he is very much Old Man sassing everyone. And the moment that he feels like he is capable of like supporting his own weight on his own legs, well, first off, generates new wood dragon claws on his feet, and finally touches the ground again with those. And the moment he's able to stand up, he sneaks out when no one is watching. And he just kind of vanishes for a while, because what he ends up doing is he just goes to the tallest point around, which isn't really that far away.
Yeah, there's plenty of
and
like
he-
mountains for those.
Yeah, and he starts to just he sits on basically a branch or something, and he spends the next 2 weeks or so watching the sunrise and sunset, and he's really thinking about the shifts in light and horizons, and how that's weird and changes, and how that's a connection between his idea of heavens and earth, the heaven and earth kind of thing. He's really thinking about how to manipulate that distance, and also the changes in. He sees a green flash at some point, and no, not the Malfian green flash, a different one, just the regular standard. Yeah, just the regular standard, very rare occasion where you see a green flash on the horizon from from weird light refraction stuff, and that gives him an idea.
I will take. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'll take that.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
He probably notices Angler at some point as well, just doing his own move, and is
You notice
he
this
has his-
angler just, nice.
Nah,
Also,
well,
I'm
yes,
going to
but
say-
also, hold up. Because of what he's looking at watching Angler do, Old Man has his first positive opinion about Angler.
Yeah!
Got that.
nice.
Look at him. Look at him. He's trying to leave the ground. That's rad. Good work, buddy.
I will also preemptively say, I'll say when, but Old Man also sees something that Yang gets up to.
Yeah.
Up next is Sunna.
Should we leave Sunder for last?
No, it's okay. What do you want to go next?
Do you want to save the best for last kind
I
of
kind of want to save the best for last.
Sure, it's fine. Go ahead. That's why I was waiting.
So I was trying to get the words in my brain. Obsidian would, unlike most of his friends, not wordlessly leave. Just say like, "Hey, I'm gonna go do some business," and would get on the boat and go do trading. But while he was doing this trading the whole time, while speaking with merchants, while like going to various port towns and all that, would be asking questions about both the Yozi and give me the proper term for the big man with the gauntlet that we fought.
The Abyssals.
The Abyssals.
That was an abyssal.
Yeah.
It's an Abyssal, and they serve the Death Lords.
Yeah. He'd be asking about Abyssals, he'd be asking about Death Lords, just any information that he could get. And he would be talking to anybody willing to lend an ear, giving any method for getting information out of people as possible. Whether this led to good or bad things happening to him, he'd be doing this the whole time. And this is to explain the fact that I am actually investing way heavily more into Socialize. I'm getting 4 charms in Socialize: Sweeten the Tap, Loyalty, Reading, Meditation, Smoke, Breathe, Main, and Watching the Saloon's Shadows.
All right. I'm going to ask you to roll me Charisma Socialize for how. Like, I know that's your justification for investing in all those charms, but I also want you to roll that just to see what happens, because that's some spicy topics to be asking from just random people going around.
Mm-hmm. A lot of ones in that.
Well, at least it wasn't. At least there were successes, so you can say that much.
Yep.
About 95 of the people you ask either don't know what you're talking about or very loudly pretend to not know what you're talking about until you shut up. The remainder give you kind of cagey half answers because they don't understand who you are and what your angle is. So they give you the basic safe information of it. The gists that you pick up quickly are Yozi live in hell. They're bad. They're what demons come from, and it's generally good practice to not ask anymore about anybody. Like, leave it alone. Abyssals is a much more common topic of gossip, because they're very new. They only showed up about 5 years ago after the fall of Thorns, and everybody is trying to guess what the hell is up with them. Because everybody was raised with the story of the anathema of the sun and the anathema of the moon. Nobody was raised with the anathema of the sun, but they're wearing eyeshadow, and also bleeding, and like black, and shadows, and just spooky, and all that sort of stuff. It is a very new phenomenon, the phase of creation, so everybody who's got an angle is trying to find out a reason why that's happening, and what the real secret is as to how they work. The closest that you can pull out of that is most relevant is that who you faced is almost certainly one of the Mask of Winter's personal first Abyssals by the sheer level of power he had. It's been so little time since the Abyssals have been known to face creation that for one of them to be that strong this early, it must have been one of the ones that was created in secret in the other underworld and given time to train, rather than the mass of them once it became an open secret.
Also, from what we have seen of Dr. Beams there, probably stories of, man, what has the beam hand managed to come out from the survivors of the invasion of Thorns.
Yeah,
People
I will be
who
open
also
and say,
ran from the beam have told about the beam.
Obsidian would definitely ask if anybody knew about Dr. Beams, just referring to him as Dr. Beams.
They give you a weird look, but if eventually you explain what that means, or you do mention the name Tyrant, there are some survivor stories from Thorns that indicate that he was on the front line of the invasion of Thorns. Like, the gates of Thorns were blown open by his gauntlet.
Yes. All right.
No,
And
this was an invasion that was carried out with Juggernaut, which is a behemoth that is undead and the size of one of the biggest colossi in Shadow of the Colossus, and his beam was what knocked the gate down, not that thing. So that's basically what you get about the Abyssals.
And that would be it of my interacting with non-characters. There is another thing that I'm going to do, but it does require interaction with another player.
It also has Boat. Secret of Boat will be revealed, but I believe Sunna should go through that because Boat is its own ordeal of... That's going to probably be a considerable sidetrack once I go into that. So, Sunna, when you are ready.
Hi, what's up?
How about we discuss what Yang has been up to?
What hasn't been Yang up to? So the problem is that anyone left Yang idle for more than like 2 minutes, and he remembered the note, and he went like, "All right, I'll go try and kill her." So we started plotting, and my first attempt was just to poison her with a crossbow bolt and see how that does. It didn't go well. Yeah. What happened with that one? I forgot.
You poisoned an arrow, bolt actually, shot her in the side. Took her about a minute to wake up and notice she'd been shot at all. Seemed nauseated for a couple of minutes and then vomited up a solid chunk of the venom that you had coated the bolt with. And then
so that was pretty weird. she just kind of spat out the poison. That never happens. So I'm like, okay, how about we think outside the bun? So I ran out of a wagon, and I used half the remaining powder to make it angry and spicy. And I'm going to roll it down a hill at her and set it on fire, and that'll probably fuck her up, right?
Yeah, that was a good plan. You fill a flour wagon full of fire dust, and it makes a thermobaric explosive. Pretty good idea.
Yeah, it didn't work out either.
Yeah, see, the problem was that right as the cart got pushed downhill, as she was running by on her morning routine, she
was on a jog. She was just jogging.
Yeah, no, he had literally been staking out her morning routine and found where she jogged and timed it so he would be able to smash the cart into a rock face aside from her and blow the whole thing up. Unfortunately, right as the cart was rolling down the hill, she reached into a pocket, pulled out a strange cube, deployed it onto the ground into an expanding platform, which turned into a spring trap that launched the cart back up the hill towards Yang, who had to run screaming for cover to not get exploded.
It was not very flattering. I was shrieking a little bit.
When Yang peeked back over the hill was on fire, and she was running away off down the road and gave a little wave goodbye over her shoulder to Yang.
Fun thing though, she left the cube behind, and now I have that. She gave me the cube.
Yeah, Yang was actually able to salvage the deployable spring trap that he has no idea how it works, because all of the labeling on the switches of its contracted form are in a language he does not recognize.
It doesn't matter, I figured it out. Because I tried to use it to throw a bear at Sybil while she was asleep. That was my third and final assassination attempt.
The problem was that Yang did not actually understand how the spring trap worked, failed to roll to activate it, put the bear's unconscious, tranquilized body on it. The spring trap did not go off. I prompted Sunabozo, what would you do? And Suna said, well, I kick it. And I said, it tremors a little bit. And Suna, God bless, understanding exactly what I was leaning for, said that Yang got up on the trap and just started jumping up on down on it. And it launched.
So yeah, now I'm hurtling through the air, and fun fact, that's not great, and then I tap into my latent powers to get Grasping Rope Vine as a charm, which means I can Spider-Man around. I shoot crossbow bolts, and now I have a rope.
Yeah, rope arrows from Thief, except also a grappling gun.
Someone gave Yang a springboard to launch into the air and a grappling gun.
Sick.
So Yang was able to grapple himself to safety, although the G-forces of doing a hard swing off a tree branch did make him black out and wake up to see Sybil dealing with the bear. And then kind of giving him a look like, come on, man.
When I woke up, she was chastising the bear, which was roundabout chastising me, and I was like, yeah, you're right, I fucked up. So I slinked off into the woods and started doing a training montage, and now I know Goose Style. I've met up with my swamp family again.
No, you did not learn Goose Style.
I never fucking believe I learned Goose Style.
No.
I met up with my family again, and I learned a bunch of performance and larceny. I've undergone severe training. And that's Yang.
And yeah, that is the gist of Yang's downtime.
Old man is also very impressed with Yang after he goes flying through the air in front of him.
Yeah, no, you get a front row seat of both of the second and third assassination attempts.
You see a bear and me flying through the air.
Like I said, very impressed. Entirely for it.
So yeah, going back up the list, I believe the first God, looking back over at the chat, I believe the first major conversation we delayed was Bradway. If you would like.
So, at some point, I take a trip back to Grey Falls to speak with the court mage there so I could set up a long-distance communication with my grandmother, Vanif herself.
Ordinarily, doing this kind of thing on short notice would involve a lot of money, and it's a lot of the favors and sort of things. When it is, I need to speak with the head of a family house, this is immediately set aside, even when this is House Sinis, as they realize that interfering with this would probably cause problems. So, this is the one time, as I look through the books, that the best way of having a two-way conversation go is, in fact, the stupid fucking face in a tree charm.
Nice.
So, I'm just going to say, as their method of primarily communicating back in real time, back and forth with the Blessed Isle, they've got the tree face, and they've got a reception hall somewhere in one of the bureaucratic houses on the Blessed Isle that they send a sorceress message to Venif herself, who gets the date and time, and you settle in and press your face into the mask against the wall, and for the first time in probably over 2 or 3 years at this point, because she's been quite busy, you find yourself looking at the face of your grandmother, Venif, and it's the spitting image of the Scarlet Empress, though you never saw her.
Hi, Gran.
Hello, Milan. How's our first child doing?
Well, I formed a hearth.
Really?
Yeah. You know that trip they sent me on to go help the Give me a second. I always forget Spanner's house.
Nellens.
No. The Nellens fellow with getting the pottery.
Fisher's... The Nellens gentleman, yes, I do remember.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's a member of the Hearth.
Oh, that's excellent. It's wonderful. I'm very proud of you. I'm very proud that you were able to go out and see the world and hopefully get some things done.
Well, I'm contacting you now. I need some advice.
Her face, she kind of tilts her head. Of course.
Already in this time I've been out here, I have encountered 2 abyssals, both hostile. You remember the
Her
tyrant?
face goes from concerned to just abject, like naked, just complete wide-eyed, slack-jawed. Like, you realize you need to go back and make sure that yes, no, I mean what I just said.
Yeah. Perhaps I should start from the beginning, and then I begin explaining the incident that happened at the village, and I don't give like the deep heresy details we were given from.
Right.
I give the proper responsible what I would tell my grandma.
She visibly pales over the course of the conversation, but keeps her composure, nodding along.
And yeah, I felt fine at first, but then not a month ago, we had stepped into a Shadowlands to make a dead drop delivery, and we found the tyrant. You know, the one from
Thorns.
Thorns? Yes. We were fortunate. One of our... He's kind of part of our... I should tell you about Sensei later.
Wait, so he's a Sifu? He's a Sifu.
Sifu.
Yeah.
I should tell you about Sifu later. But yeah,
you can visibly see like an eyebrow twitch across her face, not out of like irritation, but just out of like a wait, what? But like she's processing all of this, and being the for Dragonblood a young age of 70-year-old daughter of the Scarlet Empress, this is not the most overloading conversation she's ever had. But from the looks on her face, this is probably in the top 10. This is not what she expected her first grandchild's report to be going back from home about.
So, what I'm getting at is something's going on here. I feel it's in our best interest that I remain here with my hearth to figure out what's going on, but something is happening in the 100 Kingdoms.
Well, if the personal vanguard of one of the lords of the underworld is walking around and threatened the life of my grandson, yes, I would classify that as something going on. Absolutely. How many people have you told this to?
Just you and my hearth. Who
Keep it
was
that
with
way.
me. Yes.
Meanwhile, Obsidian Shield, y'all know where I can find some sailors and this guy named the Tyrant?
I am looking for Dracules.
Have
a
you seen
question
this man?
about the,
And I hold up a very crudely drawn drawing of the tyrant. This big, shadowy, billowy man with a red hand.
Have you seen this? Have you seen this Dracula? Has anyone seen this Dracula before? I am looking for a Dracula.
Anyway, in the meantime,
I wished for the Dracula to enter my house. I want to speak to this Dracula.
I have a quick question about the talking through the mask and the tree. Can other people around you, when you are at the tree, hear you talking?
Oh, I made sure to kick everyone out.
this is a sorcery. This is a call to a house matriarch. No matter how much of a bastard House Sinus usually is, they're not going to be fucking with this.
It's just more for later knowledge that I was
Yes.
asking.
Yep.
Like, this is one of, like, they'll absolutely spy on, eavesdrop on a lot of people. House matriarch? No, they don't want to feel like fucking with that today.
That's a good way to get yourself and everyone around you killed.
And replaced. So, in the meantime, she leans on her head and thinks, okay. I asked this question and I want the answer, and I genuinely don't care what the answer is. You said you had a hearth, but you only left with this angler fellow, the nice gentleman from Facade.
Yes.
How many of them are outcasts?
I take a moment and I think through. It's just obsidian, right?
No,
Uh,
Obsidian and Repose.
Obsidian and Repose.
Also,
and-
you're definitely not going to say that Yang is part of any proper household.
Well, Yang is.
Oh!
Yang
Yang's
is
label is
publicly
Sinus.
part of a Sinus.
All right, yes. All right.
Yes.
You could just say like, yes, there's a Sinus fellow, and then
Yeah, yes, we met up with a Sinus merchant, and there were 2 outcasts.
All right.
secretly
Kinda-
three.
She kind of leans and thinks. How has House Sinus been responding to this threat?
I don't fucking know.
Well, you're not
Yeah.
the authorities, but
Yeah.
she's asking.
Knowing Yang, his name is Thousand Miracles Yang.
Mhm.
I don't think he's told them.
Hmm. You did mention that you reported the initial encounter with the satrap, but
Yes,
not the
that is
second.
no.
You can see her thinking about whether or not to say it before saying, "Keep it that way."
Yes.
Oh, thank God. Explicit permission to lie.
Oh god, Grandma's cool.
Yep.
Oh, Milan. Milan, my first
Really?
child I held. It's not a good situation at the home aisle right now.
Are you okay?
For now. Fine. But the discussions behind closed doors are growing terser, and the discussions out on the deliberative are growing more authoritarian.
Grandmother, what a parliament.
My sister is becoming more brazen with her statements about the absence of our mother. Menemen is already claiming to have. She's very clearly trying to pick her words carefully, even if Menemen may or may not have herself. She has not quite yet declared the Empress dead. But she has been speaking about if it is found by the Regency Council and the deliberative that it can be believed that our mother is dead. That as the most senior daughter of hers, she would have certain rights in older precedences of succession. Precedences of succession that no one dared breathe aloud while Mother was here, as they refer to the shogunate. But now that they're gone, and that invoking them has not brought her storming down from a mountain somewhere in anger, tensions are beginning to rise.
Do you believe she may make a move soon?
That depends on the term soon.
Mhm.
In the coming months, most likely not. You will probably continue to quietly reach out to the other houses and see who she can ensnare through obligation or reverence, and who she can cow and intimidate, and who she can cite to the side. In the coming years, if Mother doesn't return, I don't see a situation in which Menemen would not try to take the throne. She kind of looks off to the side as
So,
because you have had similar conversations with Vanif before.
yeah, and
You
I'm
are
deliberately holding back. I'm deliberately holding back saying go talk to her because I got chewed out last time I said that.
yes, you did. This is the long-standing period of tension between the two of you where she thinks that you are naive for thinking that this can be only solved with a simple chat over a dinner, while you see it as two sisters who refuse to talk to each other and see the gulf between them widen. And this is another moment where you can feel that tension in the air between you and your grandmother.
I do the right thing and just I let her speak. I don't interrupt. I don't say anything unless addressed.
It is a good thing, in my mind, that you have made such a deep friendship with a member of House Nellens as to circle a hearth with them. How soon as I could take her leave, frankly, but House Nellens has always eyed my possessions as head of the household with no small degree of envy and no small degree of pettiness. Perhaps the example that you're setting with this angler gentleman could be used as a precedent for later discussions between representatives of our houses to find more mutual interest between our families.
Indeed, the well-being and cooperation between our two houses would bring prosperity to both Nellens and yourself.
As well as protection for us and those who rely on us.
Spanner has shown himself to be an honorable man, one who could deserve the honor of trust.
And I believe that's why he's all the way out in Grey Falls, isn't he?
Where else would he be? I say as sort of a cheeky grin as a joke.
She just kind of smiles sadly back at you. It is my hope that well, first of all, it is my hope that you stay safe with whatever is happening out in that region. It is also my hope that and again, she just kind of is trailing off and is struggling with what is formally respectable and polite and correct to say to one's grandchild.
I end the conversation by saying, I love you, Grandma.
I love you too, Milan. If you need to call again, do not hesitate. And if I need to reach out to you, I'll make sure you'll hear, alright?
Yes.
You will always have a safe spot on the Isle so long as I am here. Remember that.
I know it in my heart.
Be well.
And the spell ends.
Alright. The next conversations would be Crumb with Koi, and if you wanted to also with your family.
It depends
Two
on how
out
the
of 6
conversation's
grandmas
go.
met.
2 of 6 grandmas. Anyway, so Koi.
Oh, when are we gonna be old man's grandma?
Older gran.
The Grandma. Anyway, this is an actual question that you could ask of a Dragonblood. Would you be taking the road all the way up and then around the Flying River Province, or would you just climb the damn cliff?
I think due to training for the style I'm working on, I just climb the cliff. Probably going with the water for the most part.
Alright. So, that actually, because you are very athletic and water aspect, actually is quite a bit less time than it would be to take the long road around. So you just climb all the way up through the mountain range, swimming like a salmon, basically. And you pass by the first village on the outposts, soaking wet to the bone, just kind of covered in gunk from climbing a mountain for several days and swimming through a river. And it is a testament to the feeling of the region that the villagers barely give you 2 looks as you walk through the village and get some extra supplies and keep going. This
Evening.
This
Thank
just
you.
seems to be something that they accept as, yeah, no, that makes sense. And you're able to swim down the river, now up at an altitude high enough that this is much closer to rainforest territory, because the slope of this entire, I never remember the proper geological term for this thing I made, the fractured cliff, allows for a much heavier collection of mist and rain and downpour. So it is much more humid up here. It is colder, an entirely different plant biome at this point compared to the lowlands below. Make it down to the capital of the Flying River Province, where it's... You would say it's a village like any other, except most villages don't have a big ol' 5 or 6 story tower made of stone in the middle of it.
Well, I was going to ask where she is, but I'm pretty sure I figured it out.
So you just make your way over to the tower. There's not really anything in the way of guards in the way of it. Seems she's either very confident and doesn't need them, or you're not seeing the actual protection.
As I'm approaching the tower, I'm going to make no, hiding or anything like that, but as I get close, I'll probably take a little bit of time for her to prepare defenses if she wants to use them against me, or what have you. You know, the proper etiquette when dealing with wizards. And then if she's decided to not turn me into a goat or a newt or something, I will then approach and knock on the door.
There are 2 kind of militia-looking people standing by the door, but you get the feeling that they're more ornamentation than any actual serious defense. They ask what your purpose here is, just as a general, well, you clearly know who this is and what this belongs to, so what are you doing here?
I am here to speak to her on a personal matter, if you would please let me through.
And your name?
Angler spanning all seas.
Angler spanning all seas. They both kind of look at each other with a glance of, do you recognize that name? Nah. Well. So one goes inside and says, give him a moment, please.
Do either of them recognize that I'm wearing House Nellen's attire?
If they do, they don't really show it or care.
Cool.
After about 3 or 4 minutes, the guard comes back out, and at the door is about a 5-foot tall woman, broad-shouldered, long somewhere between robes and a muumuu kind of look, holding a walking cane, heavy pair of spectacles on her face, broad smile, hair tied back in a bun, looking up at you. So I hear I have a visitor.
Hello, I believe you are Koi?
Ah, yes. Koi Invictus. This is the name it was called.
I'm sorry, I should have called you your full name. May we speak for a moment, please?
Of course, come on in. Nice lad. And she just kind of wanders in, the guard shutting the door behind her. She didn't seem to take much offense at that. On the first floor, there's a spiraling staircase along the wall, and it's clear that the first floor is kind of the entrance foyer for visitors. There are a couple of seats across a table. They're all very nicely cushioned. The materials are not Dynast level fantastic and opulent, but they're pretty well to do. It's pretty damn well living for himself out here. She takes pride in being a hospitable host, it's very clear. On the table is what appears to be an already heated pot of tea and a set of cups, and she kind of gestures for you to sit down as she sits down across.
I would take off my outer robes, it's probably covered in gunk, and put it somewhere like that wouldn't sully any kind of cloth or whatever, like on a pack or something.
As she sees you kind of looking around, holding your coat in your hands, you see she kind of gestures, and you see what looks to be a couple of sawn down antler coat pegs on the wall, effectively. So she's like, you can put them there.
Okay, I would put the coat there, and then also, because it is polite, I would take off my steel boots to make sure that, she doesn't consider that I'm going to do anything stupid.
She laughs at that. I appreciate the politeness, but fair enough.
And then I'll sit and, so the whole way here, I was going through all the different ways that I could say this, asking for a favor for my hearth, or opening up different means, but I think that would be the wrong way to do this. So let me start from the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
My birth name is Sasha. My wife, when she was born, was named Ren, and we have 2 lovely children, and their names are Polaris and Ursula. You are the only person out here I know of that might grant me a personal request that I might talk with them. So I am asking if there's any way that could happen.
She kind of leans forward with both of her hands folded on top of her walking stick, leaning at it, looking at you through her spectacles with a curious look. You came all the way up onto the top of this cliff, gave your name to a sorcerer, and gave the names of your family to a sorcerer because you wanted to speak with them that badly.
The past few months have taught me that family is very important, whether it be by blood or pact. I have been with my pact family for a couple months now, and they're good people, but I had to leave everything to come here. And I thought this adventure would be something wonderful, something that I could prove myself on, but every day I become more and more homesick, and I very much just want to talk to them.
Well, kind of gives her walking stick a single rap on the ground. Far be it from me to deny such a request felt from the heart. She stands up with this crack in her back, just kind of adjusting her hips as she gets up. Now, ordinarily, I'd ask for some sort of fee or some sort of task for you, some sort of sorceress thing, but frankly, knowing the true-born name of a dynast is enough of a favor on its own. So I'll call this one a free one.
Thank you. If it makes you feel even better, my great-grandfather's name was also Sasha. He came from the north.
From the north to Prasad to the Isle. How the blood of the dragons travels. So,
Why have you entered my domain? Sit down, bow your head, and say solemnly, my wife.
Not quite right, but close enough.
So, she taps her head.
Wife
thinking,
guy spanning all seas.
Angler spanning all wives?
Not quite.
Ooh, that's a good one for another character. I'm gonna keep that one for on the road.
Kind of taps the side of her head. So, what are we thinking here? Are we thinking a imp message? Are we thinking a letter? Live conversation?
Live conversation would be much appreciated. Obviously, the less people that know about this, the better. I wouldn't be coming to you otherwise.
Do you think I live out here if I didn't like keeping my own secrets? Don't worry about it. She kind of hobbles over to what you didn't quite notice, and now we're wondering why you didn't quite notice, a large curtain against one of the walls that she grabs hold of and pulls down, and there is a almost full body length silver-backed mirror. This will get you set up good. This will find the closest reflective surface near to them and let you start talking through it.
All right. Do you need some sort of focus for this? Blood,
She kind of leans back.
amulets?
Oh no, I don't need blood for this. I'd let you know if I needed blood for anything.
Who wants a blood?
She's tapping her kind of crooked nose, thinking to herself, best way to ensure this goes off. I got their names, that's close. Give me a memory. Give me a place.
I can give you something more, and he pulls the amulet that he has off on his wrist. This fang was taken from a serpent that nearly killed my daughters when they were 2. They each have one, and my wife has the last.
She takes that with her eyebrows raising. Now that's a hell of a focus. Yeah, that'll work. That'll work just fine. That'll get them right in contact. Now, I can't guarantee exactly how this is going to go if they're all 3 in this different places. It might be a little weird on the mirror, so let's go hoping they're all at home, huh?
Yes. If you can only grab 2, please grab my daughters.
Alright, let's think about how we do this. She plucks one of the fangs out of the amulet. Is it removable or no?
Yes, yeah, it's pressed into it, kind of like I'd say a wax or an amber thing. So if you took a little bit of work on it, he'd probably just snap it right out. He'd give it to her.
No, she's able to get it on her own.
Cool, terrifying.
Yeah, it's pretty like it look. And if anybody else was watching, it's like, oh, it's very easy to snap out because she's just kind of reaches in and dexterously plucks it out. You know that it's like really fucking stuck in there. So.
Yeah, I take another look at her and then her wide shoulders and go, yep, this was a good idea.
She takes a look at it, flips the fang in her fingers. Let's see, do we have? Yes, we do! And she kind of taps a little shriveled bit of the venom gland still attached to the fang. Alright, that solves all our problems. She takes the fang, pivots it back into her fingers, puts the gland between 2 fingers, and squirts the tiniest bit of venom that you're not even entirely sure was there in the first place without sorcery onto the surface of the mirror before spitting on it twice and rubbing it with a velvet cloth. And the mirror's surface below on the silver backing begins to shudder and shake like a pool of water that has had a stone thrown into it. She puts the fang back into the amulet and hands it back over to you. Alright, now it should be looking. Might be a little bit until the oh, there it goes. As the reflection starts to coalesce into a picture of what looks to be looking up from below the surface of the water of a lake. And this is one that you recognize as one the family goes to fairly frequently on the Blessed Isle. It's just a way of going outside and relaxing. And it's a kind of down-up view, so you can see your 2 daughters sitting up next to your wife, and just not quite recognizing that you're there at first until Polaris takes a look at the water and about screams, tugging on the sleeve of Ursula just to look and point, and then Ursula actually screams when she looks at the water, scrambling over it, and she puts her hand in the water, which is very disorienting in the mirror, which is because her hand reaches out towards the mirror and then just kind of disappears into a vague cross-section of her arm. Like, not actual, like, flesh and blood one, but just kind of like, there should be arm here.
Yeah. As she's doing that, I would look at her with a finger over my mouth and then put my hand to where her hand is and says, I'm not right here, but I can see you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. What? Oh, wow. I didn't know you could do this.
Could you grab your mother, please, and I'll come over here?
Mom, Daddy drowned.
Mom, Dad's drowning in the water.
Less,
and you hear your wife go
loud. Just nope, too late.
You hear your wife go, what? And run over to the shore and look down. It's like, what are you doing?
It's in that moment where I've got, like, my other hand is, like, kneading my nose. Like, I did not plan this at all. I had it all the way up to this point and totally, whatever, we're doing this. Hello.
Children, we have explained to you, father cannot drown anymore.
Actually, yeah, no, that's probably going to be a running thing in your family. It's just that they see you meditating at the bottom of a lake and they say, Dad's drowning again. And
Yeah.
she's never quite worn off that reflex of just, But she looks down, and Chad actually wants to know how old your kids are.
6.
They are 6 years old. So she looks down, and she says, so this is a new trick you have?
I've made a new friend out here, and they've made this possible, if only for a moment. I just really needed to see all of you, and see if my letter arrived.
Yes, your letter did arrive, and she's kind of taken aback with sudden emotion as she realizes, like, oh my god, I get to talk to my husband, and I wasn't expecting to do this for like a year. And
Cackling voice comes in from the side. Nah, that thing can run for hours.
Yes, we received the letter. How are you? Are you okay?
If you had asked me that a day ago, it would have not been as well as I feel right now. It is so good to see all of you.
It's wonderful to see you too, Sasha.
How bad is it there?
She kind of stiffens up. Right now, unless you're really paying attention, you wouldn't really know the difference.
Okay.
The deliberative has been in a deadlock. They are currently trying to force through a resolution on whether or not they can use precedent from the shogunate era in terms of hypothetical discussions on the succession to the Scarlet Empress. May her reign be eternal, should her reign be not eternal. The fact that this is anything more than a symbolic gesture is starting to make the other great houses quite worried, and starting to have their own speakers in the deliberative jam the works up. I believe one of the speakers from House Cesis actually spoke without ceasing for 5 days until they were knocked unconscious.
When you say knocked unconscious, do you mean they fell unconscious or someone knocked them out?
You
know what? That doesn't matter.
She can't, but she genuinely can't help herself from smiling at trying to say this. No one is quite sure which of the balconies it came from, but a bowl of jade was thrown and hit them square in the head.
Couldn't have done it better myself. Okay, sorry, continue.
I am not a politician, Sasha. You know that. I was not. I was not raised to expect this. I don't think any of us were.
That is all right.
I can't give you an estimate of how long I think this is going to last. How long I think it's going to last out. But rest assured, we do have your letter, and the matriarch. Oh, the matriarch. Right.
Do not get her.
No. She was very insistent that whenever I sent my next letter to you, and I suppose this would count as that she, what was the exact wording? Was profoundly surprised and delighted beyond measure at the pottery that you procured for her.
Got a good pot.
I don't know what that means. I want to take that at face value, but
She sounded genuine. Like, she literally just kind of shrugs and holds her hands up.
whatever. You know, that I'm getting caught up in business again. I'm sorry.
It's fine. You get the look on her face that if she hadn't said that and the matriarch had found out, she was worried about what would happen.
Yeah, that's
So.
fair. Because you mentioned it, and it reminded me of something. You remember Milan, my friend, bureaucratic friend?
Oh,
bureaucratic friend.
The gentleman with the wonderful mustache.
The
Not that
gentleman
your
with-
assistant any good.
Yeah, well, no, that's fine. Credit where credit is due.
really good mustache.
I can't compete with that. Yeah, the guy with the million aunts who wants him to get married. He's still single, by the way. We got to work on that.
I'll keep my ear to the ground for him.
Yes.
We formed a hearth out here with some people we found. Let's go with found. We'll get to that another point.
I understand your tone of voice. I know what that word "found" means. You don't have to talk it out loud. Meanwhile, in the background, you can hear Koi just kind of snickering into her coat.
Yeah, just that is like section Z on what we're going to get to. We've done some good. We've also managed to find some people that are, and he visibly remembers his daughters are right there, less than great. Remind me to tell you about how I threw a moose at later, girls. You're gonna love it. Your dad has moosels.
You did what?
It's fine.
And then, Polaris says,
What is a moose?
Yeah, Ursula. Yeah,
What's a moosel?
Ursula's like, you did what? And Polaris is like, what's a moose? Ursula's like, it's like a big bear with really big horns.
Yeah, and actually, girls, now that I'm thinking about it, I found something as big as a house that I want you to ride on. I found this merchant who has this, it's pretty much a moving house, but it's an animal, and he said he will let you ride on her as soon as you get out here, if you ever come out here.
Mom, when did you see that? And she's immediately just like, oh, what have you done?
Just the smile of, yeah, I know, I had to do it eventually. It's okay. But getting back to my point, I want you to, if possible, very quietly, contact House Milan. Because the two, I'm sure Vanif is going to do something silly or possibly smart and get a message back his own way. I think our two houses need to have a sit down.
That's...
Yeah, I know. They stole stuff from us. They stole stuff from us when they became a house. I get it. They're a bunch of jerks. But
You're telling me to try to talk to a matriarch in person. How do you think I'm going to do that?
How do you think I've survived the past 2 months? You find something? Hold on. No. Better than that. You know what I've always said about challenges. We don't do them because they're easy. We do them because they're there. We have to find a way.
That's the most dad answer, by the way.
Damn right.
Damn you and your... like, she actually is muttering to herself, damn you and your... Mom! Yes, I know. I'm not supposed to say that word. She just looks back down. I will do my best to get a message as close to Milan, or to Vanif, as I can.
Thank you. I know this has been a lot of work, but... And he's going to look at his two daughters at this point. I'm so sorry I can't be there. I wish I could. But I have to be out here.
I know.
When I left, I kissed your palms. Whenever you think I'm not there, just put your hands to your cheeks and remember that I will always be with you. I love you all.
All three
so
of them
very
do
much.
that. You do the same yourself, Hanson, alright?
Always. I don't have much time, and I wish I could stay, but there's too much I have to do. And he's going to do whatever he has to at this point to rip the connection, or start to rip the connection.
Doesn't know how to do it, just starts like slapping the water.
Yeah, you actually just kind of tap the side of the mirror.
How do I
and it
hang
does
up
make
the mirror?
water giggle. And your wife just says, "Do me one favor, okay?"
Anything.
Family above family.
Anything. And he, again, realizes his daughters are there. Of course.
She nods. Hopefully, it'll never have to come to what you said in the letter, but it does give me an easy heart that you have a plan. And even if all goes bad, we'll see each other again.
Hopefully sooner than I hope. Later than I'd wish. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Bye, Dad! You better not be lying about that house-sized animal! Koi just snaps her fingers and shuts the mirror off.
He's just gonna stare at the mirror for a couple seconds after it's off.
That was remarkably wholesome for a dynastic family talk.
I'm sorry, what?
I said that was remarkably wholesome for a dynasty family talk.
I try to keep my work at work. It doesn't work ever, but
That's the problem with the Empress's whole line. That's why I'm out here.
you know what has happened, I'm guessing.
How could I not? A lot of us out here don't, but I sure do. I'm too connected.
Yeah, your... Let's try that again. Your militia members didn't even recognize me when I walked in the door, or the signs on my coat.
I keep it that way.
Good.
Frankly, if I hadn't liked the look of you, I would have told you to go out the door on your ass, but I got a good feeling off of you.
I don't know much about magic. I've learned a lot in the past couple months from a interesting person that's been traveling with me.
Her face kind of wrinkles in a little bit, looking up and down. How old?
I've never asked, but I'm sure he's old.
Aha. Yes. The old man of the mountain.
How do you... You know what? Nope, actually I need to know this one. How do you know him?
She kind of leans on her stick. That's a couple of questions that I think that would be better asked of the old man himself. He's rather protective of his privacy.
Yeah, he actually is one of the reasons why I'm able to be here. Saved most of my hearth by... And then he's going to describe the two abyssals that we've met. And I don't exactly understand how he lived. I know that if I had absorbed what he did, I would be a cinder at this point.
Like, as you mentioned that, her kind of look kind of goes from an eye roll of contempt of, oh, him, to wide-eyed, to just...
That's the political reason why I'm here, but... As you just heard, family over
old
family.
Copper... Suppose old Copper Guts finally got part of what he wanted, huh?
Copper Guts?
Oh, you didn't hear anything.
Is that a nickname? Is that something I can use against him? Because I would love to have some ammunition for him.
Oh, he'll know that you heard it from me if I say that. It's nothing in particular against him. No fancy story about it or nothing. She kind of just leans on her staff. I'll give you this one for free, though. Old man. Well, I suppose if he's still calling himself that these days, or whatever name he's given himself.
He's never actually called himself old man even once.
He doesn't call himself anything at us.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The man on, I'm just the older
Well,
gentleman.
again, her term is Old Man of the Mountain, because that is the general term for him that others give him. She leans on her stick. The Old Man of the Mountain remembers a whole lot more than he's probably told you. You should ask some more questions about anything you've been thinking about asking him next time. Because I have a feeling that he's been holding things out on you if he's anything like his old self.
Holding things out. We haven't asked him anything.
She doesn't know that. It's fine.
That was a
Mm-hmm.
that was a me comment, not a Milan comment.
Just, nodding. Sure. I didn't want to help us. And then he looks at her and then realizes he's being honest this whole time. I haven't asked him much because he's rather prickly, and I don't want him to just go off on a 2-hour tangent about why young people are the worst or something when I could avoid it.
Oh no, he's more likely to lie to your face about whatever you're asking about if he really doesn't want to answer it.
I knew it. I mean, yes, continue.
Guile 5!
She just kind of laughs and shrugs. Well, it's clear that you need to get to know him a little better, and like I said, it's not exactly my place to be going on and talking about that.
That's fine. Well, you've certainly made me feel more than a little, guilty about leaving him to convalesce with... No, the rest of the crew is there. I'm sure it's fine.
Oh, the crotchety old bastard's probably walked away the second he had his legs back.
Probably, but I could have talked to him. Anyway, getting off topic. How much have you heard of what's happened in the past few months in the southeast of here?
Prasad?
No. I mean, like, the on the map, like, the southeast section with all that fun stuff that we've been doing.
Yeah. The dead walking.
Ma'am, do you read the news?
The dead walk. One of the Mask of Winter's personal assistants is wandering around trying to shoot up the place. That kind of deal.
Okay, yes, that's more
wait a
information than I was
minute.
expecting.
Oh, wait a minute. She's looking you up and down, and her eyes light up. Are you the little bastards who stirred the swamp up?
What's your definition of stirred?
Yes.
Which swamp?
So she actually walks up to you and pokes her walking stick into your ribcage. All right.
How?
First of all, I'm glad you listened to the Swamp Father. Second of all, you keep them words to yourselves about what you heard from them folks in that swamp. You hear me?
I have no problem with them now.
Mm-hmm. You don't now, and I intend you to keep that now.
Meanwhile, at that moment, Obsidian, outside the gates of the city, howling about Dracula's.
So,
Has everyone here heard of Don't?
I will give you one little bit of information. Because, you didn't tell the whole story wasn't told to you. At least about the demon. She kind of leans on her cane a little bit. Wasn't just Gardner and I what sealed it up. Kind of chews on her lip, thinking for a moment. You make compromises when you're out here. You work with things that back in the center you wouldn't look at twice without calling in a certain political response. What I'm saying is, if you want to get out here and you want to start playing politics, young man, start getting flexible.
Teeth?
Very, very flexible.
Flexible like teeth? I'm not there, but I'm sending energy
no.
to ask
I
about
know.
teeth.
It's like it's on the list of
Psychically
stuff I'm
beaming.
getting to, man. I'm starting in the southeast and working my way around.
Mm-hmm.
I'm starting to learn a little bit about that flexibility. When I was on the Isle, I was in charge of a group that would find thieves. Not most of the time thieves, but sometimes worse, rapists, murderers, the worst of depravity that were in my legion that I was
Scum
in
and
charge of.
Tony. We all know.
Yeah, forget you know too much. Or no, not enough. Let's forget I even said anything. But
She just kind of smiles a gap-toothed smile at that.
I like it out here. It's a lot more open, but you're right. I don't have a moral high ground here to say how people live. It's, you do what you have to. It's refreshing and direct, but at the same time, it's hard for me to get my head around.
I suggest you do it quick, like. Because if you're going to be dealing with, old Crimson Hand, you're going to be dealing with somebody who needs a whole lot of backup that you don't have the firepower for yet.
Yeah, I try to remember what his name was. He said it, but I think I was too busy running for my life. I think it was Ruby Gauntlet, something stupid. But yeah, you're right. And actually, thank you for reminding me. I think I have to apologize to someone about that fight. Anyway, I have one more thing I want to ask about, actually. Save for this place, which is wonderful, and I really appreciate that I walked out of a waterfall and people didn't give two glances in my direction.
Oh, they say me do weirder. Half the clothes you're wearing.
More than I needed to know. Thank you for that lovely image.
Ha!
I am a married man. Please stop.
She actually does hold up a hand like, no, that was not what I meant, but fair.
No, I understand. But in the southeast, we heard a little bit more about, how do my friends put this? A certain creature that has large teeth that may or may not be in the north of here. Silvery teeth, perhaps?
That bastard.
Oh, good. You know him.
Yeah, I do. And, I can't in good conscience really send you to him on anything but a dinner platter right now. He's, having a bit of a mood lately with all the goings on. You're gonna have to approach him a little carefully.
Does it have anything to do with the plague we've heard north of here?
She kind of is taken aback. How'd you hear about that?
We have some friends.
Yeah, it does. If you find a way of helping with that, maybe he'll be a little more willing to listen to you.
Do you know what started it?
You know that there's a plague and you don't know what it is or what started it. It's raising some awful interesting questions of its own. But, considering that you are being so polite as to not pry into my own life, I will not pry into yours and leave it simply as this. If you knew enough to ask about old Teeth, as you mentioned him, you know one of the things that he hates most.
Let's pretend that I do.
Oh, give me something to work with here, kid.
I am not good at this stuff. I'm sorry.
She just sighs. Alright, look. It's a wild incursion in the form of a disease. And it's been kept on the down low because it killed everybody in that village, and there's been a quarantine set around it that I helped enforce.
How? Okay. Does anyone in Grey Falls know of this?
No, and it's staying that way.
Good. We do not need a wild hunt.
No, we certainly do not.
That definitely moved to the higher of the priorities we were looking to deal with in the area. That's something we need to look into.
Well, I would personally be quite grateful for you if you found some way of getting rid of it, and I'm sure old crotchety bastard up north would too. At least enough to listen to you for 5 minutes before going off and sulking again.
I wish I knew more to be able to ask you the questions we'd need to have answered, but my friends, my hearth might. Is there a way that I might be able to either have you meet them or them come here or some communication?
She kind of thinks to herself for a little bit before going up into the second floor. Hold on a sec.
I'm going to hold very still.
She comes back down with a dove that has a letter carrier case on it. You get them to write down all the questions they got on this here bird, and it'll know which way to come back home. And once it gets to the side of you and where's to go to back, it'll come back and just do a back and forth with the letter on it. Low tech, no magic, no fucking up. So long as a hawk don't eat it.
Visibly sweats under the idea of I've been training to be a falcon for the past 2 months. Shit.
Surprised to discover a sudden instinctive drive to behead this pigeon.
Yep.
Chomp to crunch the bird.
And then, this is the best way to ask it. Is there any way back down or over the cliff that will be able to get me down to the mountain without getting this dove killed, that I don't have to take the long road?
She kind of thinks to herself. Looks at the bird. Looks back at you. Looks back at the bird. She
Yes.
kind of tapped.
To the chat, birds can fly. I would be going through the water. I don't think birds can breathe underwater.
She kind of taps the staff on the ground a couple of times. All right, so how are you planning on getting back down yourself the quick way?
If it was just me, I would go down the waterfall.
Hey, bird, this idiot's gonna be swimming down the river. Just jump out of his pack and fly down alongside him so you don't drown. Got it?
This is the best bird I've ever seen.
The bird just kind of hoots.
Does this bird have, like, younglings that I could... Never mind. Well, that's down the road.
That's a spell to talk to the damn thing. You try talking to it, and it's gonna be like trying to talk to a mud pit.
I meant have a train... No, never mind. We'll worry... Actually, I have talked
Hey,
to
we've
a
talked to
mud
mud pits. Mud pit is very open to conversation.
Yeah, I've talked to a mud pit. It was
Mud
fine.
pit is the most approachable form of Earth. You can just fall right into it. Go all the way to the bottom.
In fact, a mud pit helped us destroy the Abyssal.
Oh, really? Oh, the village of Claybot. Oh, so that. Oh, okay. That makes some things make sense. That makes a couple of letters I got make sense. Huh. I have to send him a.
Know what? Never mind. I don't want to know who sent you a letter.
I have to send him a fruit basket.
I will always defend the honor of Mud Boss.
Mud Boss is going to be getting a fruit basket from this sorceress.
I'll have to send him a granite basket.
Yes.
All right. Bird's got enough of its information left in that little brain of its to figure out how to not die if you just go down the water.
Thank you. And I don't like to look a gift horse in the mouth, but I have to ask. You looked me up and down and said you liked what you saw in terms of who I am. Is that the only reason you're helping?
Isn't the kindness of an old woman good enough for you?
I wish it was, but every time I've met a sorcerer before, there's always been strings attached, and it worries me.
Good. You're right.
Old man has never lied to us.
This is why I immediately told you the name of myself, my wife, and my children unprompted.
Yep.
Out of
And my
suspicion.
To be fair,
And my
he
grandfather.
does not know that that's a thing.
Yeah.
At least he didn't know until she said it. In the back of his mind, he went, "Fuck." We're rolling with
No.
it.
Should I talk to the wizard before I talk to this other wizard about anything about how you should talk to wizards?
Nope.
No, I will decide to do this on my own.
Yep.
I have my
Hello,
reservations
wizard.
about speaking to wizards, which is why I'm going to place my credit card and passport
fuck would you
on the
find,
table
old man?
and turn around.
The sorcerer
Hello,
needs
wizard.
your help.
This is my
And here's
true
my
name.
social security number right here for you.
Yeah. No.
Oh, my birth
All right.
certificate.
England,
As a
give me.
player, I understand exactly how stupid this is.
No,
Spanner would
this is
have
fantastic.
no idea.
This is
And the
fantastic,
back
and you
three
did
Hell
the
digits
yeah.
correct
on
thing.
and the back 3 digits on my credit card are.
Anyway.
Yeah. I gave
Spanner-
Bradway a lot of shit. I cannot wait for all the shit I will get for this.
Yep.
Spanner, actually give me a read intentions roll.
Yeah, cool.
Spanner is gonna get an imp every single day about a card that he
You are
does not know
pre-approved
about.
to learn the first circle of demon summoning.
Exactly, yeah. Your information is super sold.
I'm going to use 2 willpower to bump that up to a 5.
Can you
only
use-
spend
yeah, you can only spend
willpower
one.
on a
I'm going to
roll, I
use
think.
1 willpower to boost that up to a 4.
Okay. You get a read on her, and you're thinking to yourself, this isn't someone who is going to. She's clear and she's open and she's honest about the fact that she sees something in you that she genuinely trusted to let into her house and make a deal with. The fact that she also had some extra information about you, it seems that she knew a little more about you than just hearing about you from Swamp would have indicated, but she's also being evasive as to how.
I kind of figured, but I'm not going to pry too hard into that.
So basically, your instinct is she has some sort of knowledge or information or nudge in her direction from someone, something, or whatever to give you a hand, but you don't know what.
Okay. If that was it, I would finish my tea, thank her very profusely, and make my way back to the group.
Yeah, then it would be completely without incident.
Are we meeting up at Great Falls?
The end of the 2-month downtime is probably going to either be in Grey Falls or Fallen River, depending on where everybody is at a given time.
I'd be heading back to Fallen River Valley, so
I had just gone to Great Falls because that was how I was going to make a phone call. I needed a wizard.
All right, so those are the conversations from Crumb. Doc had Old Man meditating. Sana.
oh wow, that took a long time. I'm so sorry.
No, that's all right. Like I said, this is probably going to be just a session where everyone catches up on their to-do list. And then we actually reach the end of the list and the other part of this downtime session where the shit happens. So, Newbie, you went around, going around, talking
Well-
to people.
Okay, continue.
I was going to say, you went around, going around talking to people about the Abyssals and hollering about the Anubis and looking for Dracula and etc.
Sure did.
Crocodile, come out.
What was left out of that initially was the literal moment that you got back to your boat for the first time in a couple of weeks. Your crew members came to you, very insistent that they thought that your boat was haunted. Something.
Are you
was-
sure it wasn't just Old Man?
We are absolutely sure. We checked around every corner. We checked around every. There's no clunking. There's no Yetta. There's no nothing. The sails unfurl themselves on their own. They roll back up on their own. Like when we were doing just basic maintenance, the ropes tie themselves when nobody's looking. It's like we're being haunted by a very friendly ghost.
Bilge is haunted.
So
I need to find Vani for repose.
Not Old Man, just those two.
It's very hard to find Old Man.
All right, how far into the downtime is this occurring?
this would be relatively early, like probably a week or two in.
Also, it's easier for me to find those two because of the hearth.
Yeah.
Yeah, we always have an innate sense of where each other are. We can find each other.
Hmm.
And it would probably be easier to find repose because
Shit, I forgot
Vanif
about that.
is off doing
No,
his.
Vineeth is also
I'm-
Vineeth is doing training and had 1 day out of 2 months to talk to Grandma.
I'm probably at this very moment having like a snack at an inn or something.
Oh yeah, either of you or both of you if you would like, if Obsidian Shield sent out the message.
I send out the pager notification. Just says boat's haunted.
I think I'm in the middle of my first assassination attempt there,
Yeah,
guys.
Yang is like busy for the first month and a half.
Yang's pager vibrates and he just turns it off.
And I cock my crossbow and aim at Sybil.
So boat's haunted?
The sound of the pager going off gives away your presence and ruins that attempt.
God damn it! God damn it! Obsidian!
Send it on airplane mode, asshole! She says as she rides by.
Fucking Obsidian Shield! Tarnation! God darn it! I hate that Obsidian! Throw my crossbow down and I start trampling it.
It fires directly into your feet, taking you out instantly.
God darn it!
Oh shit, that was the poisoned arrow.
So,
Yes, fairly quickly and briskly, yes, Salam. Proposes there.
So
I'm
the
not
the boat's been doing boat things on its own.
Like, what do you mean by boat things? Like,
Oh,
if
standard
boats?
is, doing boat maintenance, the sails, the ropes. But it's been doing it on its own with nobody doing anything, and that's, well, A, it's never done that before. B, that's weird. Emphasizing that the fact that it's ever done that before is the first thing on the list. Not that that's just weird.
I look up at the boat. Do I see like a rope tying itself?
you don't see anything right now, and I'm not going to make you roll for unseen, etc. Not only is your senses not pinging for any incorporeal things, you can go around the whole boat looking for anything ephemeral, and you just don't see anything. If this boat is haunted, it is not by a ghost or spirit.
There
that
is none
walking
doom
around.
here.
Zero
Boat is
doom.
free of
Yeah,
doom.
I think he might have a more material problem.
What?
One moment.
You got no spooks up in this boat.
What do you mean by a material problem?
A door slams shut behind all three of you as this question is raised.
Ah!
Ugh.
I knock on the door.
Zoinks!
Nothing.
I just gesture at the door. Just,
Obsidian, I think your boat's alive.
That's weird. Boats can't be alive.
All right, start very carefully walking along the deck, just following like all the lines of the planking, and the boat is predominantly wood, right?
Yes, as far as you can see.
Yeah, so carefully like walk along all of the like vital lines of the room underneath this. He's like part of side knowledge of Repose going into all of this craft and cross-referencing it with his previous knowledge in occult. He has a very high concept understanding of how a lot of things are put together and how they need to be put together by their nature. See, the structure of any work of carpentry ultimately mirrors that of the structure of living things. The boat is a skeleton and a shell. You can start explaining this as he goes along about how, like, you have all the ties making their way down to the spine of the keel and how this transfers force around the boat as it moves. I'm gonna be, walking along, just diagnosing the health of this boat. Boat doctor time. Just
It's 2 die stunt with that explanation.
walking along, carefully listening to how the wood creaks, tapping on planks and supporting beams and so forth.
Yeah, give me perception crafts with a 2 die stunt.
3.
First thing that strikes you is that this is not how you would make a boat if you were doing it purely for function. This is a boat that has what you can only describe as dragon lines going through it. There are like actual like meridian lines of like essence that would be traveling through the geomantic way that the boards have been set up on their own. This is not a boat that someone just slapped together on a plane. This is a boat that was meant to channel essence, which I don't believe Obsidian Shield has ever actually brought up in character.
Alright, I guess so the demonstration Repose will be able to draw as he senses that this boat is much more alive than it should be. He'll like come up to some major upright timber that is like holding up. Probably go. Let's just say we're in a room that is like under one of the masts, and that goes all the rest of the way through. Repose will take out a small needle and just very carefully press it into the wood, pull it back out, and fresh sap drips out just a little bit from the pinhole.
Yeah, that's living wood.
Normally, the wood used in ships is dead. That should not happen.
So, with that diagnostic roll, you are able to figure out two things. One, you are able to trace back the convergence of the lines to the helm of the ship. Two, there is something about this ship that still is dancing on the edge of your perception that just doesn't seem to be sorting out correctly. So as you go to the helm of the ship and go to the captain's wheel, you notice inset at the center of it, at the middle, I don't remember the spoke of the wheel. At the spoke of the wheel, there is a recession that has been placed in what would almost imperceptibly be part of the boat normally, but you notice that it is removable, and instead of being wood, it is almost perfectly color matched jade. You're looking at a hearthstone being socketed into this boat.
Yeah, I always wondered about that. Just thought it was a fancy design.
That's a hearthstone.
A what stone? Look, one of the major character traits of Obsidian, he knows nothing about magic.
Yep. And I feel like my character would explain what it is, but I, as a player, don't know what Hearthstone is.
Crystallized essence of the world, created by focusing the energies of a place of power through landscaping, architecture, various other arts, into a number of novel forms. They maintain a persistent sympathetic link to their homeland, wherever they originated from. And they do often find themselves integrated into other grand works.
Who did you buy this boat from?
Buy? I found this boat.
Where did you find this boat?
Got a waterfall.
Can you show us?
Yeah, we get out the map.
Okay, I will shift the map, and I will also say, I know I said that Sana was probably occupied right now, but this is genuinely a scene I want the whole hearth in on.
Yeah,
so this is probably going to be in between
yeah.
assassination attempts.
Yeah, this is Sana coming back, just
covered in soot.
I come back up there and I just fucking slap Obsidian like, don't fucking use the everyone tag on the hearth, okay? I know you mean well, but fucking don't.
My finger slipped. I apologize.
It's fine. It's fine.
So the location
where
is right there.
Okay, right there. Yeah, I was gonna say I thought it was either here or here.
Yeah.
Hold up.
When you say you
Here
found
or
this
here.
boat, do you mean find as in like find it, or find as in you found it and the owner just happened to not be around?
You kill someone for this?
Nah, no death was involved in this boat. Just was out exploring one day before I became a merchant,
Fell off the back of a truck?
and
A
found a
wagon?
weird waterfall.
What
Looked
truck?
A wagon.
a wagon. Yeah, fell off the back of a wagon. Found a weird waterfall that kind of, I don't know. I felt drawn to it. Looked in behind the waterfall, and man, cool boat.
Sounds like
You just took it?
I mean, there was no sign anybody else was using it.
How long did you wait?
Day.
I guess, sure.
Hey, for what it's worth, nobody's come to claim it, and I've been kind of staying in the same area.
Yeah, someone would have filed a claim by now. Good point.
I appreciate the clown cheese music. And that's it. That's the whole story. In actuality, there's no like whole grand thing of inheritance or whatever. You just found the boat.
Just found it.
Finding is a kind of inheritance.
Whether this boat belonged to somebody or not is for the DM to spring on me down the line. But as far as Obsidian's concerned, it may have belonged to somebody and they left it there and never came back for it.
So, I assume that the Hearth would be interested in seeing where this boat came from after hearing this.
And a dreamscape opens.
I should go find Sifu, see if he wants to go to this waterfall.
Why do we want Steve? Oh, right, that guy. Right. Right, him.
Old man.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I think he was over on that really tall tree. Let me go look for him.
So,
Sifu?
You see old man up on the tall tree who's just looking out at the horizon and then looks down at you. He says, "Hello, young Milan."
How long have you been up there?
As long as he needs. Obsidian might have found a manse.
That's understandable.
The correct response to Obsidian found something of extreme power and didn't even realize it. Yeah, that sounds about right.
yeah, that makes sense.
We're gonna go check it out. You wanna come?
Oh, I don't think it would be appropriate.
Cool.
You want to do a check real quick?
Sure.
I believe it's... Give me a second.
Wait, why aren't you in the hospital?
Remember,
He
this
He
is
is.
where old man still has like about 3/4 of his meat on the front half showing his scar tissue.
Hey, actually, can I try something out? Come down here, buddy.
Perception plus awareness is what you need to do.
Perception awareness.
I can close wounds on you. I found a new, better way to do it. I got better at docking.
Yeah, I'll spell and spend a willpower to make that 3 successes.
Yeah, give me a sec. It can... Yeah, no, you don't.
Dang.
That's rude. You made me spend willpower.
That's definitely old man up there.
Yep.
Oh, you son of a bitch.
Hmm.
No, really though. I can fix. You want to come down here? I can fix that.
Oh, that sounds about right.
What? I beg your pardon?
You're very impressive, young Yang.
It's like we're having two different comments. You know what? You do you, buddy.
Obsidian just yelled at old man, "Don't make any trouble while we're gone."
Oh, that sounds about right.
Is that his away message?
I think he's meditating.
Well,
Life's a beach and then you die.
He told me that was a mantra practice.
Climb in the tree. Climb in the tree.
Let's get down from there. What are you doing? You're gonna make him fall off. Don't break your legs.
They'll be fine.
Well, he might, but he might, like, I don't know, crush into air or something.
Climb the tree.
So,
Don't say
yeah.
anything while climbing the tree, though. Remaining silent. Just climb tree. Be near old man.
Oh, hello, Repose.
Lay hand on side of old man.
All right, you get a +3 on the perception plus awareness roll.
Get out the old numbers.
All right. Absolute Repose knows, just like from having touched it, oh, this is an illusion.
Push image of old man out of the tree.
Yeah, the image of old man will just vanish into like a
Repose, what are you doing?
Kind of like-
Oh.
a steamy greenish light as it hits the ground. As it like wiggles away in a heat haze.
And just
Wait, was
hop
old
back
man never
down
real?
from the tree.
I start looking for a second taller tree.
He's learned a new trick.
How?
Or revealed an old one.
Have you not learned anything new in the past few weeks, Yang?
No, not much.
What have you been doing?
Well, I tried to poison. You know that Sybil lady? Tried to poison her.
Okay.
Didn't work. Because someone made me check my fucking phone during the shot.
Well, that wasn't me, but I did feel a lot of fury about a week ago in your general direction. I'm guessing that was it.
Yep.
Okay, what actually happens is that, yeah, you go by a even longer, an even taller tree, and just like peeking out from the very top, extremely, extremely long, just like keep on growing, and then go back to the floor, and then they start to shrink down, as he's decided to do this instead of just jump down. Hello, Milan.
Ah, Sifu.
Oh, is that what you're calling me now?
Yes, that is the proper title.
Still
of
breathing,
what
then.
yourself.
Oh, me? Of course. I'm feeling just great.
Still breathing then?
Every day. The only partaking I do, really.
Yes. Obsidian Shield. We believe he has found a manse.
That sounds about right.
I don't know what to believe anymore.
Would you like to come check it out?
Well, I don't particularly want to, but if you're going to be bringing me, you may as well.
That means he wants to come.
Where are you?
Well, I'm currently imprisoned on Earth, it seems like everyone else.
Whoa.
You're on a mountain, aren't you?
I mean, what could creation be but a mountain?
Oh, no, that's not how it works at all. When I talk about trying to find the Mountain of the Immortal, people keep on trying to point at, you know, the really tall one as old man gestures at Mount whatever its name is.
Mount Maru visible on
Yeah.
the horizon from literally everywhere.
It is a common and entirely wrong entirely wrong perception that that is the mountain closest to heaven. Sure, it physically connects to heaven, but that doesn't mean that it's the mountain closest to heaven. That's just infrastructure. That's not the true form of ascendancy.
Wait,
Somewhere-
mountain is not infrastructure.
Somewhere an immaculate priest is snapping his quill in rage and doesn't know why.
Beating its head against the table. Chijop Kejok just knows somewhere someone has an ass kicking coming to him.
Yeah, no, old man is standing before you, still very injured, but like in a way that he can function now.
Like, for
He's
real, do you
covered
want me
in
to come? Where are you? Do you want me to come fix that? Like, I'm gonna probably go do another. I'm gonna try to kill Sybil. By the way, you guys have any suggestions at all? No? Okay, I thought that'd be weird.
Ooh, I
Anyways.
got one.
You remain certain you are not dead, old man.
What if you surprise her with a
Currently,
bear?
yes. I would say that I am very
That's
much
fucking
alive.
stupid, Milan.
I would say that I am very much alive to my
we're gonna do
chagrin and likely to yours as
How
well.
the fuck would I get the bear in the air?
And yet,
Do you
dear
even think about
elder,
that?
at the moment you
I
drew nearest
appreciate
to
the
the first of
attempt,
your second breaths, that wasn't air. You weren't breathing. Repose is like actually uncharacteristically actually excited to be like, slink over to old man and note this at him.
Look, she's fought a bear before, but if
Now,
you catch her
of
off guard,
course, you
might
have
have
said
an
on many
edge.
occasions that you have no intent to die.
Not using
Of
this.
all people, you would be least concerned with letting that prevent you from being dead.
Well, if you must know, there's been some prior experience with possibly being dead or not. And, well, it's true. I don't believe... Historically, being dead has not prevented me from staying alive, and/or staying alive has not prevented me from dying.
If you'd like to ponder the subject further, I do have texts. They could be read to you at your leisure, or if you would prefer to discern your own insights in your way, they are illustrated. Proposes takes out like a classical Egyptian Necronomicon.
Interesting. Now, with this in mind, I don't know. I, generally speaking, I'm not particularly interested in shortcuts.
Which, incidentally, these are said books of the dead are, in great part, collections of instructions on how to be dead. They're part of funeral custom. You leave them in someone's tomb so that they will be better equipped to comprehend the life after life and navigate the underworld.
You know, the real world reference is the actual Egyptian books of the dead. The pop culture reference, that one book from Beetlejuice.
I am interested in forming my own opinions here, so I might go for it.
It's true, a ghost old man.
At
would
your
never
leisure.
have the best around.
Mm-hmm. I experience no leisure as he takes the books. To engage in leisure would be a mistake, and would be enacting a moment in which I am not already reaching towards immortality. And there you go.
All right.
Just one
And
note to
on-
get out of the way. Hey, old man, you might already be dead. Good sir.
Are you sure? You don't look alive. That's something that living people don't go through and live through.
It seems
really
you've spent a
doesn't look
lot of
alive.
time and care removing every aspect of mortality from your being. That is embalming, good sir. You are a mummy.
When Old Man rejoins the entire group, he actually nods to Spanner.
Yes?
Your current work is admirable. I recommend you keep it up.
Thank you. A acquaintance of mine also would like to say hello. Her name is Koi. And she said you had something about copper guts? I don't really remember.
Old man's face like kind of sours, but like still has a bit of a smirk on there. Yes, that sounds about right.
Actually, and reach into, my bag that has the bird in it. Uh, she gave me this bird. If anyone had any questions, to ask her about a variety of things around here. We could write down something on some parchment and send it to her, and the bird will be able to go back and forth.
Like the thing she told you about.
Yeah, I know. Like,
And,
perhaps about, I don't know, the teeth that's to the north, or much more importantly, the plague that's streaming up there.
And, I actually do have a message I would like to send her way.
Good.
I would
Little
be
goldfish
happy to
out-
write for you.
Little goldfish, I'd rather appreciate it if you don't spill the secrets of others. And that's it.
Okay, I return.
Okay.
What did I miss?
I'm making a mental note that I am not going to send this message.
If you don't send it, old man could just summon an elemental and send it for him.
Well, it's mostly totally going to write that message down in the thing and send it on the thing. He's writing down nothing.
Do you expect to get that past old man?
No.
Like, genuinely, socialize off. Like, see if you can fucking pull it past him.
No, he will send a message. It's more of he thought about it and realized, no, he's got to be nice to old man.
Old man's perception is shit, but believe it or not, his manipulation plus socialize roll in that situation would be 8 dice. He's actually very good at that.
He would be very good at talking you into doing that.
Yes.
I would be happy to write whatever message you'd like to her.
And as said, little goldfish, please don't spill the secrets of others without their consent, basically.
And does anyone else have messages for Koi? We can talk about this as we're on the way to the boat.
Yeah, this is the conversation as you are going back onto the boat, and it'll take you about a week of the downtime will be a diversion into this for the manse total. So, the trip down the river is fairly uneventful, but it does have a couple more instances of boats haunted kind of moments where when Obsidian is about to give the orders to trim the sails or tack them to the left or right, they just do it on their own. Kind of precognitively guess what order is coming, and just the whole ship shifts to accommodate the wind. It becoming more and more overt as the days go by. And it's becoming clear that you all know that something is up, as if it is less afraid to be open about what it is doing. So, on the final approach to the manse, there's, again, as Obsidian Shield mentioned, a waterfall directly in the way. That would be blocking all further river travel up the river. And to all of your senses, it's a solid fucking rock face behind the waterfall. Just completely, that's rocks. Obsidian knows from experience that the rocks aren't actually there.
I go, watch this. And just sail the boat directly into the rocks.
What are you doing? What are you doing?
Whoa. Oh, hey.
Yeah. Oh, they're not tangible.
No, like the entire, like half the crew braces out of fear, like reflex, and the other half, having been here once before, are more visibly prepared, even if they're not comfortable.
Incidentally,
I love doing that.
I have adjusted the gray box on the map here by way of a suggestion that makes this more convenient. Let's just suppose conceptually that this river
Is
gets
equidistant
conveniently
from,
close to our
yeah,
zone.
that generally just makes sense. Yeah.
Adventure Cube is here.
Adventure Cube is north of Great Falls. Yeah,
Between
yeah, no,
over
that makes
here
sense.
and over there.
I never really wanted to completely cut the Mance off from the action anyway, so yeah, that just works. So,
Mance, though.
as you sail into the Mance, for a few brief, terrifying, heart-stopping moments, the world is completely dark. There is no light, there is no shadow, there is nothing. And then the illusion fades, and you are in a chamber where every single surface is lined with black jade. Every surface. Inlaid, engraved, and seemingly untouched by the march of endless time. Merely standing in this entire place is filling you with the chills. So just, you are standing in the presence, if not of divinity, then of the heart of one of the dragons, if misplaced from its body. This whole place has a gravity to it, an unbelievable presence that fills you. The entirety of this place bleeds water. There's water dripping from the walls. The water in the cove laps up against the walls. The ramp up to it is a small, gentle trickle of a stream down. As you sail deeper into the Mance dock, blue torches begin to light up along the walls as you sail through, lighting up the room, showing a dry dock at the far end, with the small set of buildings alongside of it that match no architecture that you understand or know.
I'm going to meditate, and as we're moving in this place that seems to be so powerfully water, and just let my senses flow out. Are we alone, or what's going on here?
All right. Also, Loon, you were mentioning something?
Yeah, I'll contribute a note here of. So, this is also definitely going to draw up some contrast in characters' minds, where we recently went into the wild, and that was a comprehensively disorienting experience. And went briefly to the fringes of the underworld, which is also a very comprehensive, full-body, depressing and emptying hollowness that you feel in your bones. This is as powerful than that, but in, like, a much more positive, active, alive direction. You are experiencing most damp. This probably most reminds all of the Exalts in the room of the moment they first lit up.
I'm using this music for a reason.
You are as one with the world in these rooms. You can feel the presence of the 5 phases of the All-Mother, of the cosmos. This is enlighteningly damp.
Yeah, Angler of the Hearth, you feel alive in a way you have never felt. As you expand your senses out, you don't sense a presence so much as you feel like this place is a presence. Your senses aren't sure what to do.
I dive overboard.
As you are immersed in the water, you briefly think that you're about to disintegrate. And not in a way that really feels alarming or frightening, just that the part of you deep in your heart, it linked with the dragons, is convinced that you're just gonna fall apart and become one with the waters around you. And that sounds pretty great, actually. And then your head comes back above water. This whole place is alive. And that's not a metaphor. This place is alive.
Obsidian.
What's
How
up?
did you find this?
I found it.
How?
Just, I explained. Were you? He was
Did
not
it
there.
find you?
I again was walking, doing a journey. Felt a pool, went over. Oh hey, cool boat.
As you know,
That explains why the boat's alive, right?
as you are talking, you notice that your hands have been taken off the wheel and the wheel is moving. And even though there's no wind here, the currents of the water are guiding the boat into the dock. And it just slips into place, and you hear a series of thunks as it interlocks with a perfectly shaped docking mechanism that holds the boat into place, exactly the way that Obsidian Shield found it in the first place.
I call that the auto captain.
We can't tell anyone else about this.
Of course not.
I'm gonna go have a look around.
Definitely
wants
get
to
a
go?
jug of that water.
Yeah, no, who wants to go exploring? Because this place is big.
Milan is
You-
having kind of an overwhelming moment, and every now and then just kind of thinks back to some of, I guess you could say, great aunts and great uncles of the other houses, if he has like ever seen them like once in his life, and just thinking of all the great dragons.
Say, gang, would you like to partake in one of my many miracles? And I put down my backpack and take out some joints. Get it?
Most of the time I'd say yes, but not the first time we're here. Maybe if we come back again.
Alright.
Obsidian takes one.
Nice.
All right.
Obsidian goes, hey, this is my first time here.
Propose will be
It takes a joy.
propose starting from a jug of this sacred water, then just adds in a bit of travel wine.
Very good.
Yes.
I'm just gonna wander off. I'm just gonna wander off
for
and just start
flavor.
exploring.
Roll me Perception Occult difficulty 7 for repose.
I sure have that occult excellency that I don't normally use on anything. I could use that instead now. Spend a willpower to make that a 7.
All right. You get the briefest flash down your spine as you are absolutely convinced, no matter what any of your magical senses or what angler's senses tell you, that not only are you being watched, whatever is watching you is curious and approving of what you just did.
Good. That will compliment the flavor of the well.
So, I did not make a map for this offhand, my apologies, but the general places to explore are the dock area itself, the small dock buildings by the ship's dry/wet dock, and there is a set staircase that goes up to an elevated platform that has a couple of side room doors alongside of it, and you can't quite see what's on the platform for where you are standing right now. So, who wants to go poke around
I'm
where?
immediately
Milan-
on that platform.
Milan has wandered off towards the buildings.
All right, so Milan, give me a perception investigation roll, and same with anybody who's poking around, really.
Even on the platform?
Yes,
And you said perception investigation?
yes.
Wait, is investigation a skill?
Oh,
Yes.
hang on. Okay, I was afraid I had World of Darkness it for a moment, but no.
No, investigation is extremely a skill.
Yeah.
Nah, so we have perception, investigations. Nah.
Yeah, I'll spend a willpower to make that 3. I've got willpower.
I'm also going to
I
boost
need
mine to 5.
All right. Okay, so first off, Milan, you are not sure what era or what architecture or what culture made this, but you do not. This is
Yeah.
nothing you have ever seen. This is not anything you've seen in a textbook. This is not something you've heard talked about. And it's all made of jade. It is all made of jade. The same aspect of jade. This whole fucking building is made of jade. The support structures are made of jade. The inlays are made of jade. The furniture is made of jade.
Okay.
This floor molding is made of jade. It's carved jade.
The extra there was the fiddly bit on the occult excellency is each 10 re-rolls a non-1, so it was just taking my 1 bonus die, just in case.
Okay. And yeah, the literal first thought, Milan, that you have is that every single person on the Isle, and you're pretty sure that includes your grandmother, would kill thousands of people without blinking to get this place. They would not even think.
Mm-hmm.
The buildings, you don't know what the controls are. They are labeled in a language that you do not understand. But you get the feeling that it is something to do with the boat.
You said controls. Like there's like
There's panels that look like control panels of some sort.
Yes, hello, Repose will read labels.
Hi, they're an old realm.
I'm just going to flip one. Or press one.
I will read what that says and be ready to slap Milan's hand away if it says something ominous.
Look.
It says release forward docking clamp is the lever.
Is there anything clamped out there?
The front
Look.
of the boat.
You
Slap.
gotta shake. You gotta shake the tree to see what. You gotta
Propose
shake the tree
will
to see
start-
what falls out.
Preparing translations of all of the labels and just get a bunch of post-its out.
Is this an old realm?
Yes.
Okay.
Meanwhile, Angler, walking up onto the platform, notices that it is a wide open platform with 5 pentagonal point shallow depressions in the ground that hold water within them. Along the walls are a series of murals and what appear to be, again, language you don't understand. It's Old Realm hieroglyphs, but in like very fancy format. But what catches your eyes are the pools of water. Even without turning on any of your magical senses, you know that that shit's magic. That shit does something weird. That's not necessarily threatening, but that water is not normal and it is not used for normal purposes.
Are the waters in any kind of pattern or formation?
It is just shallow bowl-shaped depressions in the ground, shaped like the points of a pentagon.
Pentagon? Okay. He would move in between the 5 of them and activate his anima. And just, kneel and wait.
All right, roll me. Let's take a look at your sheet. Let's see.
This is gonna be bad.
Oh, perception occult's not as bad as it could be.
True. That's 5. With my 0 occult.
Alright, meanwhile, while I'm going about this translation here, here's 6 successes on an int linguistics roll. How old is this old?
First age old,
Yeah, that's old.
like untouched since the first age old.
This is extremely
Literally
raw
not
old.
touched. Yeah.
And I will willpower, because at this point he's going to be using willpower on just about anything in this place to bump that to a 3.
So, as you sit and you flare your water anima, you can feel the pools at first sympathetically, and then when you watch carefully, literally reaching out back to you. And as you stare into the reflections of the water as they ripple, you notice that there is something dancing at the edges of your perception as you are staring into it, and you realize it may be language, and it may not be language you understand, but damn if you don't feel like you understand what it's saying anyway. It's right at the edge of your perception of understanding. Each of them feel like they have some sort of knowledge encoded in each of the 5 pools. Like they're like a liquid library.
Nope, he'd do it. He would move to whatever in his direction would be the top of the pentagram and place a fingertip on it and just say, "Show me."
You don't get a response from doing that.
Worth a shot. Okay.
Don't need to learn old. You always
Yeah, I
learn
know.
old.
Man, I took every other language but old.
I might want to.
Yeah,
Buy
well,
merit
he's
of
gonna stay
old.
here. Yeah, he's just staying here for a couple seconds, and then would stand up, bow to each pool. Go ahead. Sorry.
I will say that your innate just water cast aspect is drink it.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Bradway, I've got a warning.
Mhm.
If you learn how to speak and read Old Realm, Old Men will probably take the book away from you.
Oh no.
Yes.
I will take out a small bowl that I would probably use for tea or something, and take water from one of them and drink it.
All right, let's see which of the pools that you have selected today on The Price is Right. 4. You dip the bowl in the water.
Wait, here's a question.
Hmm?
Would, before anything bad happens, would Obsidian know what these pools do at this point?
Would Obsidian have been the type to... Okay, number 1. Did Obsidian explore this place the first time he was here?
Yes.
Would Obsidian have gone to the pools and gone, oh, sweet, free water, and drank it?
Probably.
Okay. I need to roll retroactively to see what happened to you. Same pool!
Suddenly, in our minds, Obsidian had keeled over and died before we even met him.
No. The bowl dips into the water, and you are able to tip it back into your mouth, and as you do so, you see that the pool of water immediately refills back to the level it was. And as you drink it, you are filled with an almost inexplicable sensation as words you do not understand fill your brain, and yet at the same time, the knowledge that they are imparting comes with it. And you are able to just... You are almost have to sit down to process it as your body is trying to understand what is going on. As
You took a drink of the water, the word water.
as you see a brief glimpse in your mind of combination a kind of moving hieroglyph vignette of the waterfall having the cave opened up inside of it, and a figure raising a hand and creating the stone wall to block it away as the stars in the sky go out. And as you do that, at the same time, you suddenly and inexplicably have a deep knowledge of the... God, what was the specialty this one had? This pool gives you a temporary skill specialty, and I'm trying to find in my notes that are getting increasingly disorganized, and I need to reorganize them, which one this one is. Astrology. This is the astrology pool. You have a temporary occult astrology specialty for 24 hours.
Oh, you just have what Old Man has normally.
Yes.
Nice. Good work.
What time of day is it?
Night. Let's just go right with night, so it is...
Okay. I would stand up, bow to the pool, turn around, walk down towards the group, and say, "You should look at that." And then he's just going to walk right off the edge of the ramp, dive in the water, and go outside.
Look at what?
And I'm just going to stare at the stars.
All right, make me a intelligence occult plus your specialty roll if you want to try forecasting.
Sure. Hold on a sec. I need to find my... Oh, God, this is going to hurt so much. Well, that means it's a 4 now.
Yeah, and you've got some mad fucking cottonmouth, and those pools that Angler pointed to look mad delicious.
Yeah, I'm gonna slurp. I'm just gonna put my head in there and drink.
Y'all are really, really susceptible to magical invocations that are that tempt you, aren't you?
Do you want some? What? Do you want some?
I'm all set, thank you.
You sure?
Yes.
You like being off the ground, don't you?
That has nothing to do with this.
It's good water.
Yang just smiles at you and starts sipping.
You can take your sippy as much as you'd like. I will not partake in the sippy.
Old man, do the big sippy.
I
Rude.
refuse.
Wait, that's peer pressure. I'm sorry. I respect you. I don't respect you, old man, but you know what I mean. Boundaries are cool. Anyways, then I dunk my head in the water.
All right, so Yang just slams his face into the pool that Angler and Obsidian formerly drank from and chugs, and gets about 2 mouthfuls of water down before even high, the sheer level of brain blast going on from psychic transmission.
Wow!
Just not literally knocks you backwards out of the pool on the ground, staring out into space, just like, ah!
Now this is real hydration!
Oh my god, I've never been so fucking hydrated.
Your cotton mouth is so gone that you're not sure you're never gonna have to drink water again. You are actually briefly terrified by the idea of ever having to drink water again if it's going to do this to you.
Oh god, I can't keep seeing everything every time I fucking say.
I've been flavor blasted with water.
Meanwhile, Angler looking outside. Ordinarily, when Angler looked at the night sky before this, just saw a bunch of fucking dots. What do you want? It's stars. It's the lights in the sky that isn't the moon. However, after seeing that vignette in his mind, he's able to see that above this manse, that 2 constellations are actually in a conjunction where the space between them is exactly over the manse. Those constellations are the captain and the gull. Or no, the gull and the mast is the 2, pardon me. And those are the constellations that represent Wanderlust and the constellation that represents Endurance. I see Loon was immediately digging for the visual examples.
Looking at the stars. It's obvious now. You never got the explanation before, but now it's entirely clear. That's Hercules. Who else would it be? There you go.
So
About.
Right now, something about this place resonates with that alignment of the stars, either right now or in general. And it's possible that that alignment of stars is how Obsidian got here in the first place. Or maybe he's the one who got through because of that, if this place is aligned with that. Or maybe that's just a alignment of the current events of things. You don't know. You're running off of borrowed brain juice.
Okay, I'm just going to be staying out there for a little bit. Just enjoying the knowledge.
It doesn't take long to talk about the high concept bits that astrology is made out of. Actually conducting a forecast means going way deep into the paint.
Yes.
Once you get past, yep, those are the shapes, they correspond to these archetypes, and then it's number wang.
Now have fun figuring it out.
Can I ask this lake for permission to bottle it for potions?
You may try.
Yo, can I make some sick-ass potions out of you?
Roll me manipulation socialize.
Just any socialize the skill I have. Well, yeah, socialize is a thing, right?
Oh wait, hang on.
Propose is going to be
I have a
letting
bad
everyone.
idea. Do you want to
What's
indulge
that?
the bad idea?
Sure.
Do you want to put on a performance to get permission?
Fuck yeah.
All right, what would you do to perform to convince this place to take the water?
Apologize for my crude behavior, and then share my feelings about how cool the water is with the water.
All right, one die stunt. You may roll manipulation performance.
Propose is in the background, letting all this happen while he meticulously documents everything that is labeled. And I will step away a moment.
Okay.
9d10.
When Loon returns, I will update on what those have found. You, while high and reeling from the psychic blowback of like psychically transferred knowledge, somehow pull out a short verse poem about the beauty of this place that is completely heartfelt. And the water actually laps up out of the bowl into your bottle as it is at your side.
Yo! I'm gonna make a drink. What should I call it? Hassie. Yeah, that's what you're gonna be called.
God damn it.
Yes, correct.
The water slinks back out, having refused instead.
The water explodes.
Oh no, glass everywhere.
So, I remember you saying there was something else up on that platform, like 2 other rooms?
There are several side rooms that you can investigate, but the
Yeah.
pools of water and murals had gotten people's attention first.
I'm going to poke my head into... Are they left and right?
It's left, right, and center.
Poke my head into the left.
On the left appears to be what was some sort of... You're not entirely sure anymore how to gauge how this place's living conditions were viewed at its time, because by your standards, it's the Empress's bedroom. It is jade everywhere. It's just... And there are still cloths and mattresses that are somehow untouched by the march of time.
And take a look to see if Great Grandma's here. Nope, still nowhere knows where she is. Cool.
Yeah, it's not only just one bed. It looked like it had several. Like kind of a combination master and guest bedroom.
Yep. All right. That's living quarters. Let's check the other 2 rooms.
Okay. The room on the right. Roll me. Let me look. Just int occult as you walk in.
And I'm going to spend Hidden Secrets Whisper, which lets me each 10 rerolls a non-failed one.
All right, so let's do 10s. 6,
Right,
7,
that
8.
is 8 successes.
You don't know how to put it into words, and you're not entirely sure how to describe it. But what you are looking at, you are absolutely certain, is the central command center of this place, if you had to find words for it. There is a large terminal with glass hanging from the ceiling on thin wire, with crystal and jade buttons and levers through the whole place, and cabling of just deep woven dark metals running into the walls.
And Repose kind of ghosts
Brother
up
Repose?
behind you. Press nothing. As he continues noting stuff.
You might want to take a look. This seems like this were
When you have a second, I'd like to step in.
Yep.
Oh, it's just a general thing of as soon as it was obvious that everybody was a bit more preoccupied, Obsidian would have slipped away.
Interesting.
Fascinating.
This looks to be some sort of central command center almost.
Look up at the big ornate panel that has a heavily calligraphized, but still like there, just sign that says palace.
Hmm.
I just imagine, Milan is sitting here and be like, I'm pretty sure this is the center of everything proposed, just like stepping back, looking up at the big calligraphy panel that says
Oh yeah.
that this is the center.
Yeah, this is control room is actually the exact label you see. So
What kind of stuff
When-
am I finding around?
So to go back to what you were translating out of the old realm in the original buildings by the boat, it was all entirely related to not only docking and general dock functions, but also maintenance of the boat, repair functions, recharge functions, modular functions. You're not entirely sure this was once a factory of sorts or a place to build the boat, but damn if this place doesn't have a lot to do with that boat and fixing it and generally all of the boat. You get the feeling that this was not so much a
Not a
fact.
shipyard, but definitely someone's boat shed.
Yes, this is
Someone's
not
garage.
This is not a shipyard. This is someone's incredibly tuned up, I love my boat dock. And looking around, the first thing you notice that you are somewhat dismayingly thinking is a security feature is there is a hell of a lot less labels on these buttons.
Touch nothing. Got it.
This is, if you had to take a guess, only the person who was supposed to use this knew what this did kind of function.
Yeah, the architect memorized how this worked and would only explain their methodology to...
It's the asshole who doesn't comment their code of
Yes.
engineering.
This is occultism in architecture. This makes sense. This is what geniuses do. As opposed to scholars.
So, there is a third room of the side rooms that has not been investigated.
Yeah, let's peek into there.
As you walk inside, two things strike you. The first is the overwhelming pile of crates, boxes, miscellaneous bric-a-brac, ropes, netting, sails, spare planks of wood, a couple of giant bags of rice. It looks like a storage shed at first, until you look at the far end of the room and see an immense, what was once a complete jade arch that has been shattered straight down the middle and is now just two slightly curved pylons up into the air.
You see, while you think the most interesting thing is that broken arch, now I'm gonna look at the crates and provisions. That's what Milan knows.
This looks surprisingly, and honestly not that surprisingly, like things that Obsidian ships around.
Hey, Obsidian? Obsidian.
And the Obsidian, who was in the room, yes?
This yours?
Yes. I'm trying to think of how to, Obsidian definitely, I don't know. I guess a check would have to be rolled, but Obsidian slips something back into one of the crates.
Okay. Yeah, I'll make a perception awareness.
Yeah, and you would be rolling dexterity stealth to hide that obsidian.
Good.
Good
Oh.
news, because I got one
You are
success.
rolling 0 dice. You are rolling a chance die. Obsidian Shield is not a sneaky man.
Repose is looking at the shattered archway and is just letting all of this happen behind him.
I'm still pretty high.
Pretty sure I'm outside.
You're still staring at the sky. Okay, you don't
I'm
botch, but... So that would be Milan rolling to contest that.
That was the one success on the 4d10.
Okay, you see Obsidian Shield very not smoothly lowering the lid on a crate and putting something inside.
I'm not going to bring it up. I'm just going to say, oh, so this is your storehouse.
Does the arch just, like, open into the wall?
It is a freestanding arch that is several feet away from the back of the wall that has had the top third of it shattered.
Is it in the perfect center of the room?
It is about it is exactly 2/3 away from the door into the room and along the exact center meridian.
Arch.
If you would like to roll me, I suppose that would be intelligence craft?
Five.
That was some sort of occult thing. That was not just I'm putting a decorative arc here. This was a door of something. This was a gateway. This was some sort of sorcerous implement and or ran on its own.
Doorway.
This was linked
Not
to
doorway.
something. And this was linked to something at one point and is
And
now
it has
broken.
been shut.
Yes.
Makes sense.
You've got a pretty cool place here,
I suppose
Obsidian.
it would take substantial effort to attempt to repair and reopen this, and possibly whatever original connection it has wouldn't return.
That's
even
an
if it were
open
restored.
That would be some sort of long-term project.
It would be a matter of if the connection was intrinsic to, say, is the keystone of the arch laying around anywhere, or...
You do actually see what looks to be a sizable piece of the keystone in the rubble.
Anything engraved on that?
It looks to be primarily have had its focus through geometric shaping, so no particular invocations or engravings on it.
No names involved. At least not on the surface. Interesting. Mystery door. Alright, that'll do. So we've seen boathouse, we've seen storage, we've seen mystery command room.
Bedroom,
Bedroom.
liquid libraries. And a surprisingly and uncharacteristically evasive obsidian shield.
Who I am not pressing for further information.
All right. Well, if there is other exploring you want to do in particular, any questions about the area, there is the murals outside in the main raised platform area. There are some other things. There's the boat itself, now that it is docked. Any number of other things that you could think of.
Getting a look at them murals. What kind of art we got here?
All right, so it looks like it is a running mural from I forget how Old Realm was actually written. Is it right to left or right? Left to right? Left to right for now. Where
Depends on who you ask and if you want to start a fight.
Yeah. Your best guess of the narrative as you are looking at it is you are looking at first a pair of figures that are among a great collection of people. Several of them have a kind of glow around them and chiseled into the art around them. The next set is two of these people going out away from this congregation out into the wilderness, is it what it looks like. The third is them fighting what appear to be, from your best guess, probably Raksha. That they're all strange human-looking figures alongside great looming monsters. So that's probably, this is a first stage.
Bunch of noodly bits that are standard shorthand for weird stuff.
Incomprehensible gribblies, yes. Fourth panel is the establishment of what appears to be the place you are standing in. And the fifth panel looks to be half complete, actually. And it is what you can think is the control room, with two of the figures standing next to it, putting a crystal into the seat where the control room operator would be. Looks like it was either never finished or it was interrupted.
Propose just kind of takes this in while just leisurely pacing along, just kind of sipping from jug of slightly flavored true water.
It's delicious.
The jug still approves of being drank.
Mm-hmm.
At about this time, I would probably come in from stargazing and just try to find the rest of the group.
You can see Repose pacing along the platforms and see Milan through the doorway. And sounds like Shield's in there as well. And Yang is just laid out on the fucking floor. And is Old Man still on the boat?
Yeah.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure.
Weirdly enough, he's not that interested in the First Realm artifice going on in here.
Yeah, fair.
Mm-hmm.
I would move to go see what Milan and I guess Obsidian are up to.
Okay.
Do I see the crates?
Yes, you see the giant sprawling supplies of this is obviously where the cargo is sitting when it's not on the boat.
Okay, just look at that. Look to Obsidian. Whatever. And then just kind of start poking around inside this room. What are all these buttons? And knobs and levers?
Did you just, sorry, I asked.
That's out loud, yes.
Okay. And is
The
that
ones
to
that
the
have written labels have received translated written labels. There is also a general note, touch nothing.
Yeah, okay. Fair enough.
Do you ignore it?
As an aside, I think by this point, Obsidian would actually know what most of the buttons and knobs and everything do because he probably tried them.
He did touch and learned.
Alright, so you did probably mess with the control panel while you were here, and from the best of your understanding, it either did nothing or made a bunch of pretty lights start flashing.
which is why he's not stepping in, because
I'm gonna stumble over to where Angler is. What is this? What is this?
I don't know. Obsidian, do you know what this is?
which one in
I'm gonna
particular?
press a button.
I'm actually just pointing to all of us when I see a button pressed, and just, maybe that's when the world ends.
As far as I could tell when I first came here, most of these don't do anything
I
that
pressed
I
the
can
one that
tell.
releases the dock.
Well,
That's old man's boats now.
What did that do?
Whatever button Milan was about to press, but had his hand slapped away.
The
No, I'm asking the other people in the group, because
Oh.
I'm far enough back, I probably can't read the label.
that releases the thing holding the boat in place.
What? Turn and probably go striding quickly back to go get to the boat before bad things happen. Well, no, there's a crew's on board. They'll be fine.
it's fine.
Although I actually would go to the boat and tell them maybe you should drop anchor just to be on the safe side.
They probably would have by this point. They know what they're doing.
Button go click.
The crew is very solidly not getting off the boat. There's enough of them that respect the weird wizard shit in here that they're not going around poking it, even if the boss is.
That's the boss's job. He's the one who pokes.
That's why he's the boss.
I'm gonna get kind of curious about that water everyone drank.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, drink the water.
I'm gonna look at a different pool.
All right.
I will go and look at the pools. Are the pools labeled?
They are not.
Are the pools arranged in directions that are conspicuous?
They presumably, if you had to take a guess, would follow the wheel of the mural's depictions. If it's there's 5 of them and there's 5 of the pools.
Okay,
So-
I'll take the lead. What do the murals look like?
I already described them, but the quick recap is 2 figures standing in a large group of figures with some of them radiating with power, them setting forth into the wilderness.
Oh, the 5 flavor pools are with the big mural?
They're not literally with it, but each is like the mural kind of wraps around the entire room, and one is kind of generally pointing in the direction of each panel. So it is, with a group setting out, fighting the Raksha, creating this place, and a half-finished one of something to do with the control panel.
I'm gonna go to the one in front of the one with the Raksha.
All right.
Like it ties to it. And I'm just gonna stick my hand in and just take a handful of water and just sort of sip it off.
You are immediately struck with a mental flashback to, well, your brain actually can't entirely parse what's going on, and you feel like that's a defense mechanism right now. But whatever it is you are sure the hell fucking beating the absolute living everything out of it and driving all before you with an incomprehensible tide of opposition against you. And when you open your eyes, you are on the floor staring up at the ceiling and have a temporary war versus Raksha specialty.
Who let Crab back in here?
So the 5
I haven't-
stages of this tale. Among them, there is a journey and a battle and obscured information. Is this planet's? Is one panel of this especially peaceful and pleasant? Is this Fate's?
You tell me. I already told you what they look like.
I feel like I need to drive off a siege.
What mural was in front of the one that I drank from? And also obsidian.
The war one.
The war one? Okay. Really? But I got astronomy and they Beneve got war?
Oh no, I was the war one. I think you guys were on this place's one. The Mance's one.
You were on the construction of the manse.
Gotcha. Okay.
Would you like me to repeat the vision if you don't remember it?
No, I remember the vision. It's just mostly I'm just trying to remember, link up which to which.
Mm-hmm.
All of us kind of just staring at the pool for the incomplete mural. Who wants to touch the forbidden knowledge?
I'll do it. It's water. Water works for me.
Roll me stamina integrity with a 2 die stunt.
One moment, just making sure I've got the right integrity for this. Six.
You reach into the pool and take a sip. And instead of a vision flooding your mind, it's more like your ears open up, and your pores open up, and your everything opens up, and your sensations are completely synchronized with something in the entire area around you. And you can feel, for a brief second, almost like you are hanging over the shoulders of old man, trying to tell him something, before you realize that you have drank from the pool, and now you are over your own shoulders, and you get a confusing flash of emotions. Curiosity, concern, loneliness.
Do I awaken or am I still awake?
You are in the state of... You are awake. This is... just your brain is now in superposition with something.
Okay. Hello?
Hi.
There's another flash of curiosity and a small bit of excitement.
Yes, I can feel you. Who are you?
Confusion.
Nope, gonna say it. Show me.
Deeper confusion. Sorrow.
Frightened.
Crab?
Genuinely frightened.
Crab? Crab? Crab?
Food?
Crab.
Food?
Sand?
Crap.
And?
I'm going to send the. I'm guessing that a lot of this might be in the face of emotions being sent rather than talking. So just sending emotions of calm and peace and friendliness.
Wariness. Happiness. Confusion. Isolation. Curiosity.
I kind of pulse on the idea of isolation.
Roll me stamina integrity again.
Okay. I don't get a stunt for this one, I'm guessing.
No.
Didn't think so. I'm going to use willpower for 3.
You are almost brought to your knees by the sudden sensation of what feels like the compressed sense of isolation for you can't even comprehend how long. This thing, whatever it is that is trying to communicate with you, has been in here for ever.
Oh,
Okay.
geez, this is not what Spanner wants. The feeling of isolation.
I will grit my teeth and rather than try to reject this thing, just send a brief pulse of acceptance. Openness.
Recognition.
while standing here outside of this experience, watching Spanner just kind of convulse emotively on the floor. Repose is gonna have himself a bit of a think, and then kind of slide over to private conversation distance of Obsidian. So, my brother, when you claimed this lovely home of yours, which it is quite pleasant. Good find, well met. Did you claim this place? Have you attuned this place? Have you done anything to make it of yourself yet? As we might any of our personal effects.
Kind of just shake my head.
Mechanically speaking, you actually have attuned.
Not that I know of.
Not that I know of, as he goes to sit down and a chair slides in behind him.
That would be like a perception occult for Repose to see. Because Obsidian doesn't understand what's going on, but yes, this place is resonating with the anima from Obsidian in a manner that recognizes that his presence. Like, this place knows him. If nothing else, he is accepted as a guest, if maybe probably the owner. Meanwhile, back over in the emotional back and forth, the presence hovering in and around Spanner flits over to Obsidian. Friend?
I would say, yeah. Hold on a sec. Do I hear the conversation happening while I'm also talking with this thing?
You are not unconscious. You are in both states of mind.
Okay.
So have you done anything to commemorate the occasion of claiming the home? It does seem to recognize you, but have you done any observances? Have you celebrated? Do you spend any festivals in your new home? Have you had it at least a year? Have you spent a calibration under your new roof?
Housewarming party?
I send, when it's looking around friend, a very strong pulse of friend.
I mean, after the particularly good haul, we'll sometimes come back here and hold a small party.
At that statement, the man's pulses back enjoyment.
Obsidian, this place likes you. I'm talking with it. It's hard. It communicates not in words, but in feelings.
Homes do wish to be resided in. Palaces wish to be ruled from.
I mean, I'm only learning today
crave adventure.
that all of this is alive and everything. I just thought this was, I don't know, lack of a better term, the old magic, which I guess it is, but
here starts the conversation that leads into Obsidian finding the occult point. My brother, all things live on this earth.
Property ownership is a big responsibility. Are you up to do it?
Have you talked to
Do you
your
think you can
house
take
about
care of it?
living in your house?
I say to the person who has recently gotten a kitten.
All those observances that people ask of you during all the comings and goings about your home, those are important. They tell the place you care. All the little things that watch over doorways and hearths and...
As Obsidian is kind of wavering as this is all taking in, Spanner feels a sudden spike of panic, abandonment, leaving.
I mean,
No, hold on. I got this one. Sends back the idea of both leaving and always returning. Hope,
Connection.
patience.
Connection. Building. Boat.
Boat?
Building. Boat.
Oh.
Hearthstone. Essence.
Obsidian, where's the Hearthstone?
if you're talking about the decoration, it's in the boat.
Go to it
Essence.
right now. Go to it right now.
Essence.
Yes, that.
Whatever you need to do, put whatever you have in you into it now.
Still not fully understanding
You will.
all the. Well, I'm narrating.
Yeah.
Not fully understanding all this.
Obsidian is going to take a while to have the wheel make one full turn. House's village?
Man, I knew we were gonna get there eventually.
Obsidian's going to go to the hearth on the boat and just sort of put his hand in front of it and concentrate. It's like, again, as stated in discussion with Old Man, Obsidian doesn't really understand like the channeling of stuff, like all the charms and everything just sort of come to him naturally.
I'm
As-
gonna follow him. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
As Newbie reaches out, as Obsidian reaches out, Obsidian can almost hear from within the Hearthstone as the hand is extending a pulse of emotion back up through him. Help.
I mean, what do you need?
Essence. Hand.
I
Hand.
put my hand on the hearthstone.
Pick up
As-
the phone.
Basically, as your hand lays on the Hearthstone and your essence starts to flow through it, and the first connection is made, all of a sudden it's like a dam breaks, and you finally have your own anima and essence understand, oh, I can put myself into other things. I can attune with other things. I can connect to them. And you feel some immense presence on the other side grab your hand back like a drowning person. And a warmth fills you and flows out into it as the lights and the blue torches through the entire manse flare up 3 or 4 feet from their sconces. And the boat shimmers as the wood ripples and falls away like autumn leaves to show black jade. I am awake.
Hey, cool boat friend.
Hello?
You came home. You've been home, but you didn't come home yet. You're home now. You live here.
I thank you.
I mean, I guess thank you for all you've done all this time, never realizing that you were, to sound like a broken record, alive.
Life confusing. Dream. Awake. Friend.
Friend.
Crab.
Boat.
Is boat.
Boat. Is crew?
Crew.
Sail?
Hey, look,
Sail?
do I get to be a bosun?
And all of a sudden, as you hear the word crew in your minds, your entire crew just bolts up. Like, what the fuck? And you very clearly can tell they all heard it too.
That was like some sort of untranslatable concept of crewmanship?
Forgotten word of Eld.
Nakama.
Family of the sea.
God damn you both.
It just sort of takes the next hour translating everything to the crew as
Suppose is going to start doing various ritualized house maintenance chores around parts of the building. Whenever he is like within earshot of Obsidian, who is still having his moment trying to comprehend this, just say little things to chide him about neglecting these.
As Repose goes around doing these chores, basically all he hears is like at first all he hears is thank you, friend, and just more warmth and emotion and emphasis in friend. His friend.
His friend.
I pat the boat on the head.
Friend.
You're cool.
You see,
I
you
like
never
you.
need to clean jade, and that makes it mean more when you do anyway.
Yeah, I'm also gonna help out with the cleaning. Probably tidy up the living quarters.
Hey, you want? Hey, I pass a joint to the boat.
Oh no. Dealer? Dealer.
Confusion.
Crime?
But Milan, as you go into the master bedroom, you get sadness, longing, distance.
I should call Grandma.
Grandma?
Obsidian, have you ever slept in that bed? My brother, do you live in your house? It misses you.
I mean, we usually sleep on the boat.
Old friend.
While docked in the harbor that you own.
First, there's like a psychic pressure in the back of the mind as this entity is clearly trying to find a word that it can't conceptualize. Like it's blocked it out or literally ripped it out of itself.
Can we feel that pressure because it's so prevalent?
Yes. Like
It has
in general,
become louder.
it is speaking as a general presence now.
So now that we've heard more of the house being here, does this feel like a small god's weirdness, or is this more materially the structure
This is
thinking?
weird. This is super weird. This is nothing you have ever dealt with as a priest.
This is not divinity. This is this is architecture.
This is geomantic essence that woke up.
This is ground that thinks, which is different
this
from the
is-
ground that talks.
This is rocks that some asshole tricked into thinking.
Buddy, did you lose a friend?
Maker?
Creator.
Maker, gone. Taken.
Oh. Wait, taken.
Where?
Who?
Why?
Don't. No.
Dragon.
What?
Wait, what?
Dragon take.
Oh, this one's gonna hurt. Show me. Show us.
B-5.
I'm sorry, what?
Stamina, integrity, -5.
Okay.
All right, hold up.
Well, you said us.
No, this is going specifically to Spanner for asking.
Okay.
Damn.
Okay.
Damn.
If you wanna opt in, I will let you opt in as a player.
I am
wanted to
opting
download
I
the
will use
trauma.
another willpower, so 3 successes.
I am opting in the hard mode.
Nothing.
Hold up. I am preparing to opt in the hard mode.
Wait a minute, I should have another roll on that. Nope, I forgot. It's 4 plus 3, not 5 plus 3. Stamina's only a 4. Boy, I'm glad I bought that point of stamina earlier this session. Wow.
Just gotta make sure I got this.
Checking
There
if
it
I
is.
have integrity excellency. I do.
All right, here we go.
So these, but throwing 2 successes on top of that with the excellence.
Mm-hmm.
The same.
So 3.
Oh,
Big.
remember it's rolled
That's-
this at a -5, people.
Oh,
Yeah,
right.
this is the -5.
Yep, that's where I rolled 1 dice.
Let me re-roll that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because you can't roll a -2.
Well,
Big.
All right, so Obsidian's at 5,
at 5, I'm spending willpower on this.
6. Repose is at 3. Spanner is at 2.
I also used a willpower, so I'd be at 3.
Okay. Going from worst result to best result. Milan, you're knocked out instantly.
Bam.
You're not able to remember what happened when you wake up. All you remember is your blood pressure going to about 180 and then falling over. Just raw anxiety response, blackout. No, I'm not thinking about that.
Yep. Mood.
Repose and Spanner, who roll 3s, get brief flashes of blood, of the smell of corpses, screaming, smoke, burning,
Rats.
steel on steel, a razor held to one's own throat, and dragged across.
Oh.
Obsidian,
Mm-hmm.
you
This is gonna end the worst for Obsidian. I feel like rolling well on this roll.
are thrown back bodily into the perspective of a disembodied watcher on the dock of this boat, looking out on the deck of this boat, looking out to a dock, to a figure with its their back to you, surrounded by soldiers in jade armor, bristling with weapons, surrounded by corpses, intermingled on all sides, some in jade armor, some in militia armor. And the figure in the center looks up to the sky, at the sun, raises their own sword, and cuts their head off. That's where the vision ends.
So, soldiers in jade armor, the leader of which killed himself for what he did.
No, the figure they were confronting killed themselves.
Okay.
You just witnessed the surrender of the previous owner of this home.
Okay, so follow-up question. Do I recognize the armor at all?
No, you don't recognize the style. It looks very old. And the figure is ambiguous from behind. You're not able to tell anything aside from the fact that they are wearing shining orichalcum armor.
It
You have a very sad house.
This was taken from somebody. Not well, I guess in a sense you could say it was surrendered, but
The manse has gone very quiet.
I would relay the image of the men in the armor to Repose, and I guess Old Man as well. Old Man has lore?
Old man's on a boat.
Pardon?
Old
Old man's on the boat.
on the
Old
boat.
man has just been like sitting stock still.
Well, that's
on
what I'm
the boat
saying.
this
Like,
whole time.
like, does Old Man have lore?
War?
Lore.
Lore?
Repose actually
Yes.
doesn't have any lore.
Oh, okay. I would. Then there you go. Now I know who to go to for that kind of stuff. I
have
would
more.
relay the image
I have-
of the men in the image to Old Man and say, "Do you know who these people might have been?"
Roll intelligence lore for the people who want to try.
No.
I'm
Old man's not even really gonna bother.
Okay.
Old
not
man
going
is
to
disinterested.
because I'm unconscious. I'm unconscious.
If you ask, I have a little bit.
It would be a general thing. He would have directed the
Wait,
description
roll?
to Old
Okay,
Man.
are you
Repose will
describing-
corral Yang over to the recently
describing
injured
Only
person.
jade armor. Are you describing the people only in jade armor or the whole scene?
The whole scene, but also like I would be asking specifically about the men in jade armor.
I have 4 lore.
Go ahead and roll.
Just 4. 4?
Lore.
Intelligence plus lore.
So
Well,
That sounds a whole lot like the legends of what happened to the Solar Anathema when they went mad with power and tried to take over the world, and the 10,000 dragons rose up against them and slew them as one.
I bolt awake and say this and then pass out again.
In a moment of clarity, deliver the opening paragraphs of the Wikipedia article on the Great Revolt.
The free online encyclopedia anyone can edit. Blah.
You know, I want to laugh at this, but I've had an experience very close to this, so this is actually very real. Also, while information is being relayed to the boat, because I'm sure I can feel some of the reverberations of its emotion, compassion's probably the best one.
so yeah, just the note of
Understanding, too.
Just gonna pour out the rest of the travel wine and project grief to the building. Just, yes, your sorrow is legitimate. Sad. Be sad. At loss.
Tragedy. Emptiness. Understanding.
just from Obsidian, a very simple, you did not deserve this.
Sounds like you're an antique, buddy. That means you're really valuable. We like you.
Backhanded compliment?
Yeah, I'm calling you old, but like you're a prestigious boat.
Acceptance.
I'm gonna walk over to Obsidian. I don't know if this thing can hear or not, but I'm going to whisper in his ear, "Show us. Show your hands out towards it. It works for you now. Show that you accept it."
Hmm?
This is to Obsidian. Like, I'm telling Obsidian to talk to it because Obsidian's the hearth owner.
Um,
Your house has depression. Live in it. Live in it. Clean it.
Tell you like it.
Compliment it.
look, I'm not.
Hug it.
Just appreciate it. It works hard for you.
Give me a moment here.
Mhm.
I would say to the boat of I can't do anything to fix what has happened to you, but I can tell you this, I'm never gonna let something like that happen again.
You should hug the mast every time you leave the boat.
I hug the
And
mast.
every time you go back on the boat, you should also hug the mast and say like, "What's up?"
Thank you.
Shaking my dang head.
Confusion.
I think that one's directed at you, old man.
Oh, he's always like that.
First,
Absolutely no interest in engaging with the boat.
Old man will not attach himself emotionally to material things.
That's fine.
He doesn't try to do that with people who are alive in the first place, and now you're asking him to do it to a boat? He doesn't care either way. Sure, a boat might have had a bad time with its existence. Who cares? It's a boat.
First contact. Mistake.
Boat would be much happier if it wasn't alive. Just gonna throw that out there.
Hey, old man.
Old man. Happier. Dead? The boat shakes ominously.
No response. Also, I didn't say any of that in character voice, which means I didn't
Oh.
say it out loud.
Okay.
Have
Yeah.
you named it? You should name it.
Name?
Yeah, what do we call you?
What is name?
Identification.
I've always been bad with names. But I agree. Boat should have a name. We've
The
never
important
actually
part
named
it comes
the
from
boat.
you. It's gotta be from you specifically. Otherwise, it doesn't have any power.
Oh no. Oh no.
Just what's
I
in your
haven't-
heart. Just say that.
Hmm.
You could think about it more. We don't have to do it right now.
Absolutely. At this point, actually, since the boat has transformed into, what did you say, black jade,
Yes.
I am going to dive overboard and look underneath. See if there's any symbols or markings or anything under there that might distinguish it.
It is just a immaculately well crafted example of a boat of its class. As you examine it, though, you do notice that as you are tapping along the jade looking for identification, some of it shifts back to looking like wood on occasion. Like it's testing itself.
Okay. If I tap and then I'll pause and then I'll just like push on one part a little bit harder than before.
That turns a solid section of the boat back into wood, which seems to catalyze a realization that it can do so, and the entire boat snaps back into looking like the boat usually did.
Well,
Disguise. Memory. Changes.
also, as an aside, out of character, No, Obsidian wholly expected Old Man not to care for the boat at all because at this point it is very clear that Old Man does not care
Oh,
for
yeah.
people
Yeah,
for
of
the most
course.
part. The fact that he was so openly rude rubs Obsidian the wrong way a bit. But he has learned that this is just the way Old Man is.
As the boat transforms, I'll pulse the idea of change, alter.
Small, large, shape. Yes, yes. Memory, old, fuzzy. Memory, but yes. Yes, I can change.
Can you go underwater?
Maybe? Unknown.
Can you go on land?
Propose we'll head
Oh,
back
yeah.
into the boat shed and take a look over the control panel again. Try to get it in. One, get the boat once again, clamped and docked, and then any of these functions that seem like they're routine things that should be done for the care of the boat.
I like the cleaning. There's
Is
probably
there,
a clean button.
is
or
there a
something.
boat wash button? Let me just hammer that down.
Yeah, there is a quick wash button. So
Clean boat, care for boat.
it is psychically palpably pleased. But in terms of helping it like do its stuff, it's unclear.
Makes it feel good about itself.
Out of character, this is the boat remembering, yes, I have powers, but I need time to remember all of them because I trimmed myself down to non-consciousness over this course of thousands of years.
Needs to remember how to think.
Yep.
Back to the thing when it said I will say I, and then my name, my actual name, and then also my title as well, and then say identification. Ease.
Understanding. I do not remember maker name.
Oh, this might break the boat. Then the idea of pick your own.
But
Yeah, I thought so. Too much.
What's your favorite part of the ocean, buddy?
what's an ocean?
The thing you crawl through.
Small creatures swimming.
Do you like
Small
animals?
small crew inside. Crew helping crew.
Oh God! And that thought, I climb back up with the boat and go wake up Vanif. Just pour some water on him, slap him awake.
I need to lie down.
You are lying down.
Obsidian would put a hand on the boat and just whisper at it, "Unbreakable onyx."
Identification accepted. New title. Unbreakable Onyx.
Oh, I get it. Yeah, no, he's part of your gimmick now. That means, that's big. That's a big step for them.
Just leans in to Brother Propose. It's a big step for both of them.
I think
Solemn
that's a
nod.
lot of I think that's a lot of learning all at once. Perhaps we should stay here for the night. Obsidian, you should sleep in the master bedroom.
You should
Sleep in
spend
your
a
goddamn
night in your
house.
house.
Have you considered cooking dinner in your house?
Be nice to Unbreakable Onyx.
I'm saying he laughs at you. Haha, bold of you to assume I can cook.
You're going to learn.
You're gonna learn today.
You're gonna learn.
And then we taught Obsidian how to boil water.
Your crew. Your crew now. Your crew will learn. Your crew also living. This is a manor. It needs a staff. It needs residents.
I would tell the crew to get off the boat. We're staying in the harbor today.
No, I think
Open second bottle of travel wine and just start sipping from it at full strength. Live in your house!
The actual boat!
It is time for training as angry street preacher and to start berating people for not respecting their own possessions. I got parables about this.
I've never seen him drink with live in your fucking house, dude.
If you must clean, go use the washroom.
Yes, the
Yeah,
boat is the
just-
first stage boat.
Just ask it to clean you. Just ask to make a. It's fucking ask for a shower in your room.
Essence cannons? I don't see any essence cannons on the boat. You'd think you would remember something like that.
Boat would never harm a child.
Boat is not a tool of war. Boat was made not for war.
Boat is friend to all.
I can confirm, no, the boat is not a cannon war strider. But
Spend a night at the house.
His aura is flaring up. Spend a goddamn night at the house.
I'm spending a night in the house. The crew is getting off the boat. They're going to the quarters. I'm going to the master bedroom.
No,
Good.
okay, hold on. I think they mean. I think what Repose actually means is sleep on your boat.
I don't know. He keeps talking in riddles.
But boat and house are the same.
Boat and house.
Propose has set up shop. He has gotten out like an urn where he has placed he has filled it with some of, the very holy water here. He has placed the walking stick in it, and this now finally draws attention to, there's been this very elaborate covering over the upper side, upper like half of the walking stick since he has had some downtime to do stuff. And he reaches there, just gives a firm grip and a slide, and has an umbrella attachment now that on the outer surface is decorated with palm fronds and the inner surface with vibrant flowers. And he starts telling a story about this palm tree and the good and honest life that it lived before it was conscripted into holy war. One good honest life as a palm tree, and then a second good honest life as a fence post.
Friend,
there's many side stories in this where a tree can't not be helpful. You build communities around trees because they are friends to life. This thing has given thousands of times its own weight at any given time in thatch, in fruit, in branches.
Is brother all right?
I immediately start. If Repose allows it, I'll drink some of what he's drinking.
Brew is getting story time about this very respectable former tree
Yeah,
that is
pass
getting a
that.
chance to remember how it felt to be a tree. As it is, he keeps planting it in the ground every so often. It doesn't like being a weapon, it just knows that it has to protect communities. He gives it every chance that it can to just feel like a plant again. It's a good stick. And everything about you was once life.
It
This
still
goes
makes
on
sense.
for some time.
Long into the night.
yeah, this is with these revelations and Obsidian Shield being basically just marched into the bedroom to sleep to make Boat feel better. I think this is a good wrapping up point for the day.
Yeah.
Welcome to the end of Downtime, where all of the errands have been completed, all of the training has been done, and the secret of the manse and the secret of the boat has been revealed. It's alive. It's a person. It just
3
kind of
successes
forgot
on
that.
stamina. Repose does not sleep this night. Repose does not stop talking all night.
The boat hangs on your every fucking word.
Milan wishes he could talk a little quieter so he could get some sleep tonight.
I'm still smoking.
Old man
Unbra-
actually has to ask, what is Milan's opinion about the boat again?
Milan has been unconscious for most of the time the boat has been talking.
Right,
Yep.
yes, but now you have one.
It's
This is
And
an
it's just
important
the-
question.
The all-night drunken sermon, just focusing on reminders of everything that you have that was made by human hands involve the sacrifice of something in nature to be of use to you. To trace all of these things back to their sources and be grateful. The bounties of the world.
the only response Milan gives is just kind of staring off in the distance. You can see the gears turning in his head, but they're just not quite getting there.
Not a great answer.
Yep.
Disappointing. You're gonna have to learn a lot more. There's always more to learn.
After a
There's always
while
more
of
to learn.
listening to the stories and such, Spanner would ask to smoke whatever it is that Yang is smoking.
Oh, you know my Long Island miracle? It's my special herb. It's my special. What do they call that?
This is
Strain-
the Yodzy's
yeah.
cabbage.
Hey,
Lay it on
hey,
me.
check this out. For you, I'll pull out the Tsuchinoko oil.
No, I'll just stay with just the herb is all right. Thank you.
All right, fine.
Give me some time. I gotta start taking the stick out of my ass.
Why do you have an ass in your stick?
Don't worry about it.
Worry about what?
Yep.
Next time, dealing with this new member of the crew? Question mark.
Oh,
His friend?
His
He's my
boat?
friend.
Crab?
Shaking my head.
How dare these people form emotional
they're-
attachments?
They're all like, "No, you're gonna name it. No, don't name it. There you. Oh no, now we have a pet. God damn it, you kids."
Well, no, it's cruel to the boat. That's the main problem.
The boat asked for it.
And that's the boat not knowing any better.
Anyway, bye.
Now we're done.